You know, this is something big today when I get out of the gym and the first thing I do is I skip the sauna and jump on the mic. Big Greg became a new member to the Big Greg. What's going on, Big Greg? Oh, this is Tim, this New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC, brought to you by, we've said it once, we've said it twice, we've said it a million times, the mighty FanDuel on Believe. It's free agent legal tampering day. Yowza, great balls of fire. There's going to be moves fast and furious, and I'm not talking Vin Diesel. Oh, we are talking about what the New York Football Giants are going to be due. I love this one. Joe said it best. According to sources, we are in on everyone. We're going to have Ryan Roberts on from A to Z Sports. He is the college football expert. He's going to be on in a little bit. We're talking about the college football draft here with the New York Football Giants. We're going to take your questions as well as we are monitoring all the situations here that is going to be coming up. Noon is the official time. Good morning, James Stein. Noon is the official time that we are going to be able to start getting these deals in. And you're seeing a lot of rumors. You're seeing a lot of speculations. I think Joe said it best. We are literally in on everyone. Tua Tagovailoa, he got released by the Miami Dolphins. I think that's going to be another play for Malik Willis there, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and a few other places. New York Giants seem to be, from what we're speculating, is there's conversations and talk about bringing back Cordell Flott. There was a speculation that they were looking at Jermaine Illuminor coming back for $16 million. I hope to God that's not right. And nothing against Jermaine Illuminor. I just think 16 million is a huge number to bring him back. I mean, 12 to 14, I could see, but 16 million, I think that would be a disservice to the offensive line, because I think you can get like a Vera Tucker, you can get a Wyatt Teller, and then you can go take Francis or Spencer Fano in the draft. So I like I said, this is all just speculations and rumors. And I can't give 12 million to Cordell Flott when I already have Paulson Adebo, Drew Phillips, and Deontay Banks. It looks like there's speculating that Wando Robinson will be heading over to Tennessee for as much as $16 million a year. Oh, dear Lord. Joe, Christopher, what's up? Hey, Tim, everyone in the chat. Good morning, says Slider. Great Phil Sims. I got the Phil Sims jersey on. I'm pumped up today, man. I was hanging and banging in the gym, getting ready to get that NIL deal, head back out to Furman. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there, buddies. Getting there. Greg says, need Dawn to start working the numbers. Dawn's working the numbers now. The Giants just signed Chris Manhertz to probably a very waiting is the hardest thing to do. Waiting is the hardest thing to do. That's why we're going to have Ryan Roberts on in a little bit. And we're going to talk about the draft. We're going to talk about free agency, because what happens here is going to be predicated on what happens in the draft. There, with Chris Manhertz signing, there is talk and speculation and rumors that we are going to go to a 4 tight end set, which if you did that, you would need some downhill runners, which would then make sense why Devin Singletary literally took a pay cut to come back to the Giants. He didn't get a restructure. He took a pay cut. So, I mean, you have a good short yardage, and it's funny to say that Devin Singletary is a good short yardage back, but he actually is a very good short yardage back. He is very good in short yardage. But if you're going to run a 4 tight end set, and you're probably going to bring back Bellinger, that would be a thought process on the cheap. You would then probably need to turn around and pick up someone like Isaiah Likely, because I know Theo Johnson has had his moments, but I think as a receiver, I think better way to put it, as an overall better tight end, that's probably going to be Theo Johnson could be that tight end, could be that overall quality NFL tight end. We've seen it at moments. We've all seen at moments he's a fucking knucklehead. Now, the problem with the knuckleheadedness, sometimes the knuckleheadedness overshadows his talent. But if you can put him in the right situation, Theo Johnson, and you can get him in the right mindset, he's got all the talent in the world. I've said it before. It's like Bull Durham. The movie Bull Durham, they basically, the Nuke LaLoosh, $1 million arm, but a 2-cent head. $1 million talent, $10, $15 million talent in Theo Johnson, but a 2-cent head. So we have to mature him, and it would make sense to then go out and get Isaiah Likely. Because if you go out and get Isaiah Likely, you have Theo Johnson, you have Manhertz, and you have Bellinger. So you got your 2 blockers, you got your veteran presence, and then you have 2 tight ends who have potential to stretch the field. Now, Isaiah Likely, in my mind, has more of a potential to stretch the field, and I think he's going to have more. I think he's going to have more suitors than we're looking at right now. Joe says, without all the leaks coming out of the building, the so-called insiders are just linking G-Men to everyone. Apparently, the Giants are blowing through the next 3 years of cap room in the next 2 hours. Joe, I've said it best. We've broke news on this channel. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We've said things that people thought we were crazy, and it happened because of the fact that I kept saying there's more. In the early Shane era and the Gettleman era, there was more leaks than the Titanic in that Giant facility. So even ECK Sports brought it up the other day. We were 2 days ahead of everyone finding out that we were going to get like Blake Martinez and Adoree Jackson and James Bradbury. We were 2 days ahead of that. We were a full day ahead that we already told you there's a certain coach who Matt Rule was not coming to the Giants. And we were ahead of the fact that we told people the Giants will not pass on Andrew Thomas. We literally said they will not pass on Andrew Thomas. But those leaks are gone. They went out and got that quick seal. They went out and got the putty. And they shored this ship up. So to Joe's point, everyone is just speculating and everything, saying we're going to just throw everything on the wall and see what sticks. I mean, because right now I am refreshing. Like I said, noon is going to be the moment. Noon is going to be the go out. I think you're going to see deals coming in fast and furious at 12 o'clock. That's why I came on at 11:15 or 11 o'clock or whatever fucking time I came on, because I want to see this. I love this NFL insider who has no information, because they literally have the New York Giants signing everyone. And then they have and this has to be a parody account, because they have Wanda Robinson signing a deal for $27 million a year. That's only $27 million. I can't see that. Hardcore Giant fans, let's fling go time to see the start of the Harbaugh era. Are you not entertained? I know what you're looking for, and I have to go find this out. I'm entertained. I am so pumped up. I've only had 1 cup of coffee today. I got 3 bottles of water down here. I got this empty bottle of water. I think we all know what that could potentially be for. Just in case I can't leave, I'm already looking at, telling the kids, hey, walk home from school. No, I'm just joking. Because I'll be on till like 1:30, because then I got to go get the kids, and then I might come back around 3:30, depending on what's going on with the Giants. Here you go, hardcore.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
We're gonna make sure we're entertaining everyone today. Theo has hands for bricks. You can't coach that. Listen, Theo Johnson, for all of his issues, and I'm not a Theo Johnson fan. I'm telling you, I've told everyone I'm not a Theo Johnson fan. But what I can tell you about Theo Johnson is he has talent. He has talent. He had talent at Penn State. He had kind of a Micah Parsons moment at Penn State where they were like, you got all the talent in the world, but we're worried about the only problem with Parsons is Parsons really turned the corner that last year after he had his kid and really became a competitive player. But the problem is with Theo Johnson, like I said, he's got all the talent in the world. But if you cannot harness that talent, and if you cannot make that talent sing for you, I don't see it. I just don't see it. The whole idea of going out and getting Wyatt Teller and Vera Tucker, it piques my interest. It piques my interest because of the fact that if you do that, if you go out and get a Wyatt and a Tucker and a Vera Tucker, do you bring back Ellie Moore Fudd? Or do you go tackle in the draft? I was thinking about this. Yeah, I was thinking about this all day yesterday, because I keep seeing the news. If you fix your two guard positions, you let Ellie Moore Fudd walk, you let John Runyon walk, you bring in these two guys. And yes, I know Veritek has not had a complete season in years, but he's an all-world talent. And then I know it's crazy talk, but then you go out and get a Linderbaum. You draft either Mr. Francis or Spano, or we're just going to call him Bono. You fixed your offensive line, and you literally have fixed your offensive line for like the next 6 years. And you will have players under contractual control for your quarterback in Jackson Dart, which then will allow you to then go on the defensive side of the ball. AJ says, need a laugh? Daniel Jones is looking for $50 million. I don't have my glasses on. My contacts aren't working well. I thought for a minute it says, need a laugh. Daniel Jones is looking for $0 a year. Let's show the comments on the stage. Why not? Everyone does this. I'm gonna be like everyone else because everyone else is like me. I don't like that. There we go. I like that. Okay, there we go. No, I don't need a laugh. But thank you, though. Let's see. James Simon says, Dawn to Harbaugh for love. God, do not let Joe near the cap numbers. Anyone otherwise, we are screwed. Your whole regime is come down to this. Your whole off season. And I'm not trying to be anticlimactic. I'm just trying to put this down. Your whole process for 2026 is going to be dictated in the next 45 minutes. In the next 45 minutes, your breakdown or your offensive philosophy and defensive philosophy will be shown to the rest of the league. And I saw this one from Hardcore. No Linderbaum. He wants upwards of $20 million for center. Fuck that. Well, he wants more than Creed Humphreys, and I think he's better than Creed Humphreys. But wouldn't you want a 26-year-old center who's progressively gotten better to almost elite status in regards to pass blocking, and was already a fantastic run blocker, and you could pair him with a line that could potentially be Andrew Thomas, Wyatt Teller, Linderbaum, Vera Tucker, and either Mr. Francis or Fano? Wouldn't you want to do that? You just built your offensive. In one fell swoop, you rebuilt your offensive line, and your offensive line went from below average, in my mind, to above average, to very good, to maybe top 15 in the league. Winston says, time to see where the head is and what's going on behind the scenes. What Mike Lee says, and for some creators, it's all monopoly money, cap consequences be damned. Well, that's why we have Dawn. I actually went on Amazon and I ordered what I like to call the Kevin Abrams calculator. And of course, it is a calculator without a 7, because evidently we just could never figure out our numbers that way. But I'm also going to be counting on you guys to see what is coming up and what is coming out here. I'm still looking at, we're not going to know anything till noon. But like I said, I do think Dan Dugans is reporting that Daniel Jones, let's see here, the Colts offered $33 million, and Jones' camp countered with 50. His camp has some brass ones concerning he's coming off a torn Achilles, which then if we usually mean if you have a torn, the Colts blinked and gave him $38 million transition tag. Well, they could pull the transition tag anytime they want off him. But yeah, I mean that's insanity. That's insanity wrapped up in a nutshell. What do we got over here? Let's see. Greg says, I'm not thrilled with the re-sign of Chris Manhertz. I think he really limits us on the certain packages, so what we can run when he is out there. But see, that's the thing, Greg. This is what I talked about with Chris Manhertz. There's already talk that we're going to run a 4 tight end set, that we are going to be the Baltimore Ravens New York style edition. Downhill, big back, or a trio of backs. You have 2 blocking tight ends. You have 2 receiving tight ends. You bring back Bellinger, and I'm not a fan of Bellinger, but if Bellinger is going to come in here and block and play special, Bellinger and Manhertz can both play special teams. That's going to be the consideration right there. So that's where we're going to have to come and take a look at. I'm going to bring in our special guest for a little bit here. Of course, this is we've talked about this briefly before. This gentleman, of course, is Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports. He does the NFL draft. He does college football analysts. He also has the podcast, the best podcast available. We're going to drop Ryan in because everything's going to be going on, guys, crazy quick. So let's see. Mr. Ryan Roberts, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How are you? How's everything going?
Well, let's see. We're 45 minutes away from the entire redirection of the New York Football Giants after, or I should say, with the start of the John Harbaugh era. I'm a season ticket holder since 1977. So slightly, I'm freaking out. Slightly, I'm waiting to see how this free agency is going to play into the draft, because I think it's going to dictate immediately what the Giants do in the draft. And I think it's going to be the game plan for what this organization is going to be in 26 and beyond. So I'm doing fine. No problems here.
A lot on the line, I guess, right? A lot on the line this next few days, which is, it's always the fun time though. I mean, cause you can speak from like the fandom perspective that, this is the time of the year where everything's in front of you and all optimism is out there. Of course, there's going to be pessimism in every fan base based upon past failures or underperforming, all that type of stuff. But John Harbaugh coming in, the new era in front of you. I mean, I would imagine, and I live in South Jersey, so I am pretty close to Giants country here in the state of New Jersey in general. And I would assume that there's a lot of optimism right now in the fan base for the future.
Well, we have to remember that everyone's undefeated in March.
Yes.
As someone that lived through the 70s, as someone that lived through Andy Robustelli era, lived through Craig Morton. I've told the story a million times. I got a Craig Morton jersey from my grandmother for Christmas, and I cried because of the fact I was like, why do you hate your grandson that much that you would give me that jersey? Especially when he went on to take the Dallas Cowboys. Play the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl when he went over to the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
But we're not going to get into my neurosis right now because there's a lot of that. And I know we have 173 people in the room right now. Still probably going to have some questions about the draft. I have a question for you though, because the Giants right now, and like I said, this free agency is going to kind of dictate what we do. And it's pretty much for every NFL team does that. But the Giants are kind of all over the board. You see speculation that it's a linebacker. You see speculation it's a wide receiver. It's Caleb Downs at 5, even though in the last 250 picks out of over the last 50 years, only 4 safeties have gone to the top 5, and only 2 of them have actually been what I would say beyond dominant. One should have been a Pro Bowler. One actually had a health issue which ended his career in Eric Berry. But where do you see the Giants leaning towards? I mean, what would be the smart play at 5? Is it to stay? Is it to trade out? Is it to?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I actually just posted a 7-round mock for the Giants this morning where I had them trading back. It was using the Pro Football Network simulator, and number 8, the New Orleans Saints offered me a haul to move back 3 spots. So I thought it made a lot of sense because I thought the value would still be there. And I do think that I question if this is going to be a huge trade back opportunity draft at the top 10 because we only have one quarterback right at the top. It's not a great offensive tackle class in the top 10. The edge group is good, but I do question if it's going to be one where it's going to be like super. I don't know if it's going to be super high demand of like, let's trade up and mortgage multiple draft picks to be able to go get a guy. So I do actually question if that is going to happen, but the offer was on the table, so I took it. So I did trade back, which I think would be an interesting conversation to have because I think you feel better about, like you mentioned Caleb Downs. I think you feel slightly better. It's only 3 picks, but I think you feel slightly better about back end of top 10 Caleb Downs and number 5 overall draft pick Caleb Downs. I actually gave him a wide receiver at pick number 8. I ended up going with Jordan Tyson because I had heard at the combine that the medicals actually came back pretty clean with Jordan Tyson, well, not pretty clean. They came back clean, which was good and something that people have been kind of hesitant on. So I think wide receiver is an interesting one. I know Wan'Dale Robinson obviously is in free agency, and you have Malik Neighbors coming back from the injury. So I think there's something to be said about investing in around Jackson Dart to be able to maximize him, hopefully, because ultimately that will be the ceiling and floor of how good this team can be in the immediacy is whether you hit on that quarterback, right? So I think maximizing the talent around him is interesting. But I think that if you stick at 5, Caleb Downs could be in play. I've been a big advocate of like I think a Sonny Styles would be a really interesting one at linebacker for Ohio State. Again, I know it's not a quote unquote high value position,
No,
but we're in a
Sonny
draft that's not a high value draft. It's just not.
We love Sonny Styles here. We
Good.
thought you have some people. We were on the Sonny Styles train before the combine. Some people said you're looking more at an Isaiah Simmons type player. Sonny Styles and I said the same thing. No, I mean Sonny Styles played safety for a bunch of years, and only the last 2 years really been at solely at the linebacker position. But he's athletic. He's a sideline to sideline guy. He's a guy you watch him play. I think he's got that high upside, and I think as a value pick at 5 for the Giants, if they don't do something drastic in free agency, I mean, we really don't have, right now, Darius Muasau is our linebacker. I count Abdul Carter as a linebacker. I don't say Brian Burns or Kayvon Thibodeau are linebackers. I know the listed is that, but he is our only true linebacker since we've gotten rid of Bobby Okereke. And that's, but like I said, we love Sonny Styles. But in regards to the medical report, and yes. I'm not going to get too. You mentioned a player, and I don't like that player, so I'm not going to say their name.
Okay.
But they got the clean medical. They got the clean medical. What do you say to Giant fans that say that? Well, Michael Penix, a couple of years back at the combine, got the clean medical, and then he tore his ACL this year or last year because we're about to kick off the new season in 39 minutes.
Well, that's the fascinating balancing act of just kind of the medical stuff, because to the point that you're making, and I think it is a very strong point, is that while the medical comes back clean, and obviously he dealt with a lot in 2022, he tore up his 3 ligaments in his knee, and then 2024 he had the broken collarbone, and then this past year he dealt with the hamstring issues that cost him several games as well. So like he's had 3 different injuries during the course of his career, and he's missed 18 games in the last 4 years. So like he's missed a lot of time, obviously. So the medicals coming back is merely saying that those pre-existing injuries that he's had, we checked out the body, we did the MRI, we did the DEXA scan, the bone density stuff, all that type of stuff, and it came back and told us that we're not worried about his body deteriorating long-term right now. Like, that's what it says. But that one side is saying, oh, that's optimistic for the future, but the other side is saying, well, but he still missed 18 games in 4 years, right? So, like, you need to have that deep conversation of, while the long-term looks solid in terms of his body not breaking down, he is a guy that has that label of injury prone, which, again, like he deserves right now because he has been injury prone over the last few years. So just because a long-term medical isn't bad doesn't mean that you can trust a guy to be fully available all the time, especially when he's had 3 separate different injuries. So that kind of gives you pause in terms of like, it's not just one ailment that keeps hurting him. It's like few things keep just generally popping up, which is tough. But I do think that it is going to clear some people's minds, because obviously you being lacking durability and having bad medicals is like the ultimate red flag, and that's where guys plummet down boards. Him having the clean medical in terms of his body being in good shape does say that I think he's going to go slightly earlier than maybe some people anticipate. And I do think that if he has a clean bill of health, which we'll see just what, I mean, it's important to also indicate that, like, when these guys go on their visits to these teams individually, their own doctors are going to poke and prod at them as well, right? So like they're going to get a second look and make sure that they check out physically from that perspective as well. So we'll see, just generally speaking, how early that they would be willing to take a Jordan Tyson just in a vacuum in this draft. Is it top 10? Is it top 15? Is it top 20? We'll ultimately see over the next few weeks. I mean, when we kind of get the feedback in terms of how those visits are going. But I do think that it at least calms your mind a little bit to say, maybe, and I'm speaking more about the hamstring issue this past year, like maybe that was just bad luck, right? Like maybe that's bad luck. If he tore up his knee again, I'd be like, all right, that gives you obvious pause. But the soft tissue stuff, it can be troubling at times, but I do think as long as it's nothing like that structurally damaging, is a comfort to a degree.
We've talked on this show that there's difference between being injury prone and bad luck. Because there is sometimes players just run into a streak of bad luck. I think Andrew Thomas, in the beginning, I thought it was starting to be a string of bad luck, but now I'm getting a slightly concerned with his medicals. But staying on the medical issue, Caleb Downs, they had mentioned coming out of the combine that he had or potentially has a degenerative ACL. Now I don't know. I played ball in college. I had 2 ACL surgeries. I had ACL reconstruction when they took my patella tendon and made it an ACL. And and they didn't know I had a degenerative ACL to the second surgery when they took a look at everything. So was that just news that came out, or was that, I was just trying to figure outside of an MRI, how were you going to find out that he has a degenerative ACL or potentially?
So the report that came out originally, me and the crew at ADZ actually did some digging on it, and I'm just kind of waiting on just kind of the full dictation of that injury just in general, because I talked to 3 different scouts for teams currently that basically said, like, we didn't find anything with like a degenerative ACL. So like, we're not worried about it right now. Right. So obviously anything again can pop up on like these 30 visits and whatnot, but like, I haven't personally talked to anybody at the combine or afterwards that has said, I'm really worried about Caleb Downs' ACL. I talked to an area scout on the NFC side that was basically like something like he had a knee scope a couple years ago that was like rechecked or whatever, but like we didn't see anything new that were like debilitating for the long term. So I would just kind of calm on that, because then I think it was Brian Broaddus had put on a podcast, I think someone had said, where he had kind of said that the Chicago Bears were the ones that found it and they're the only ones that are really talking about it. So like just a lot of conflicting reports on that whole thing right now. And then I actually talked to, I have a friend that's an orthopedic, and I was just like, hey, I don't know anything about a degenerative ACL. Can you tell me what the hell a degenerative ACL is? Because I wasn't familiar with it, right? Like just that terminology.
That's my orthopedist.
Yeah. So
because he was like, I don't know how they would know that unless they literally did a deep scan or they did an MRI.
Well, so I saw, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, so I really don't want to misquote it, but there was a Cowboys reporter or a longtime guy that I think it was Fisher's last name. He put out the report yesterday as well that was like about degenerative ACLs, and how he phrased it was like, they think they found something to that degree, but they want to do more testing on it or something like that. I'm like, isn't the degenerative ACL something that should be the last step in the diagnosis, not the first step in the diagnosis? Like that's why everything's just is a little funky to me. That's why I'm just like not fully buying into just kind of all the information that's out there. I am being patient with that process, because again, I haven't talked to anybody that has given me any area of concern, and I even talked to someone closer to like the downside of things, and like they were pretty upset that this information came out, because they were just kind of like, this is clickbait, was kind of their framing of it, and we know that can be true sometimes, that cannot be true. So again, like I just don't want to have a declarative statement on it, because I just need to find out more information, but I'm not worried about it today. And then the degenerative ACL thing, like I said, I talked to an orthopedic friend who I actually went to high school with that is orthopedic surgeon now, and I was like, hey, tell me about like a degenerative ACL, like what the hell does that mean? And he basically had said something to the degree of, in that age group, it is extremely, extremely rare. Like that is like a very rare thing. He said overall, it's a pretty rare just thing in general to have. And he said, usually it pops up more in like the 40 to 50 age bracket of people rather than like the 21-year-old age bracket of people. Right. So like, he talked about the inflammation and infiltration and all this type of stuff, things that are like way over my pay grade, obviously, right? But like either way, like all that is to say, like I'm not worried about it right now. If there's more information that comes out that gives me more reason to worry, that okay, then we'll reassess at that point. But I have talked to nobody until this point that I say like I am worried about Caleb Downs' knee, unless more information does come out at some point.
You were at the combine, correct?
Yes. Yep.
What in your time there, who was there's always the combine warrior, there's always a cautionary tale with Mike Mamula, there's always this guy that comes out of nowhere and just kind of just impresses someone so much that it's like, we had him at this grade, but now we really have to rethink that. Who is the Cinderella story? And I'm not saying Sonny Styles, because I thought Sonny Styles was a top 10 guy no matter what, even before the combine. I think he jumped in the top 5 after it. But who is the Cinderella story at this year's combine?
Yeah, I mean, we always say in the business, like, don't count it twice, right? Like, you knew Sonny Styles was an elite athlete. He don't count it twice. Like, he just solidified things, if anything. I think the one guy that, like, I watched the testing and I'm like, look, guys, like, I know the testing was great, but I don't think the film matches this at all, is kind of like that side of it. I think it's Jeff Caldwell, the wide receiver out of Cincinnati. I mean, he's like next to Calvin Johnson in terms of the highest testing relative athletic scores we have ever seen at the wide receiver position. He was a former Lindenwood transfer D2 kid who was on Cincinnati this past year. And like, look, I get it. The athleticism is bonkers. And we knew the athleticism was going to be bonkers. I didn't think it was going to be quite to like this level, but it was going to be borderline elites before the combine. he tests even better than maybe some people anticipated, and from a generational perspective, which is just crazy. But he's a classic guy of like, I know, and I haven't seen it yet, so maybe I'm wrong about this, but he's the classic guy of mock drafts from now and like the 3 to 4 rounds iteration of mock drafts. I feel like you're going to see Jeff Caldwell's name start creeping up into the 3rd or 4th round range, and it just shouldn't. I not trying to be negative on Jeff. Like, I think he has a lot of talents. I think he brings a lot of special teams value, but he's just not that player. Like, he's not. This is a late round flyer, dart throw type of player who can probably be a gunner on special teams, can be a core teamer. He's like that type of dude, right? And then maybe the wide receiver development comes. But right now, he is just a very raw athlete playing the wide receiver position, and he is not this elite wide receiver that's just waiting to break out on the NFL level. There's a lot of maturation and development needs to happen. I think there needs to be some tentativeness of like, hey guys, even though he tested this well, we're not drafting this guy top 100. I'm not even sure you're drafting him top 150. He's more of a guy in like that 6th, 7th round range. I did not intentionally mean to do the 6th, 7th thing on this podcast. I apologize. But he's going to be the 6th to 7th round range guy that hopefully hits. But if he doesn't hit, you're not going to talk about him in a couple years because it was just a 6th or 7th round pick.
Well, I think you said it best. We've talked about it on the show before that you can be an athlete, but just because you're an athlete does not mean you're a player. Because sometimes you need to, and I love you use the term maturate because I use that term all the time. You have to maturate your skills into becoming into becoming a wide receiver, into becoming a safety. So but on the polar opposite, who was there that maybe didn't have the best showing? I'm not going to say crapped out. I'm just saying maybe just, we thought there was going to be more, and maybe you kind of just, there was a pause for the cause, and you're like, oh, okay, well, we're not going to put all our eggs into the basket, but we are a little disappointed in what this guy showed us.
I think it's like the borderline 1st round, early 2nd round bucket of defensive tackles. If I just had to kind of throw a couple in there, like I didn't think Lee Hunter from Texas Tech was going to be an elite tester by any stretch because he's a true nose tackle, but like I thought he'd be a little better of a tester than he was. I mean, he had like a 21-inch vertical or something like that. And again, like verticals for the interior defensive line for nose tackles, I'm not that concerned about it, but like across the board, like the explosive stuff was just kind of below average, and like a guy that we're talking about as a borderline top 32 pick, if not at least a top 40 pick, that you just want to see a little bit more high caliber athleticism, because Lee Hunter was a guy that actually did win as a pass rusher on the college level, but without that great athletic upside, can that translate to the NFL level in terms of creating interior pressure? Like, that's a little bit of a question mark. Caden McDonald from Ohio State, he didn't do much of the testing, but he came onto the field and he just kind of looked a little slow-footed, right? And like, I love Caden McDonald at Ohio State. I think that he's going to be a plus starting nose tackle in the next level. But we're trying to find differentiation in that late 1st round, early 2nd round of these defensive tackles, and just didn't really see it, And there were a lot of defensive tackles that did really well, like Caleb Banks and Grayson Holton out of Oklahoma. And like, there's a lot of D tackles that did test really well. I think it was that late 1st round, early 2nd round bucket of defensive tackles where, in one world, I think there was a possibility that Caden McDonald from Ohio State could have risen to be maybe at least a top 25 pick, if not a top 20 pick. I'm more now in the bucket of like, is he just more of like a 30 to 40 player, right? Which, nothing wrong with that. I think a team finds a value, but I do think that defensive tackle bucket, that's kind of that secondary group, did kind of, I don't even know if hurt themselves. They just didn't help themselves, right? Like, they stagnated a little bit.
The Giants right now with Jackson Dart, the offensive line's in flux, and there's talk that we're going to bring back Jermaine Illuminor. There's talk that we are going to let John Runyon go, so we could have 2 openings at the guard position. But then there's also talk and speculation. That's why this is great that in 27 minutes we're going to start finding all this out. That there's also talk and speculation that if you bring in 2 guards, you're probably not going to take Jermaine Illuminor and bring him back, because we just don't have the physical cap space unless we start restructuring everyone and pushing that money into 27. But you take a look at the tackles in this draft.
Yeah.
Early on, for a lot of Giant fans, I want to thank the 245 people that are still watching, because we're all just freaking waiting here. Ryan, I'm glad you're on, because you're keeping my mind off of everything that's about to happen in 26 minutes. But I mean, if you take a look at the tackles in this draft, is there one that stands out? There's 2 big names, and you know who they are. But I'm not going to. But like I said, I'm not going to put the names out there, because I'm going to wait to see what you say. There's 2 names that many Giant fans have talked about at 5. That if we go 2 guards in free agency, potentially still have JMS in the middle, and then have X on the right tackle spot. Is there a guy at 5 that the Giants really should be looking at, or maybe someone that just kind of doesn't completely fit what their philosophy might be once we kind of figure out what that philosophy is?
Right. So, I mean, if you're investing heavily in the interior defensive, offensive line market, in free agency, I do think that makes Spencer Fano out of Utah a little bit of a funky fit in terms of, like, I think he could play right tackle on the NFL level. I do believe that, but I just think there's a world where he could end up being a damn good interior player. Like, cause he's got kind of that borderline, and not everybody's like that, right? Like, I feel like we always throw like tackle guys into inside a guard, and we do that. But like, there's some guys like Caleb Tiernan out of Northwestern, who's more of like a 3rd to 4th round option. Like, he's not a guy that I would ever put inside a guard just cause he's so high cut and he doesn't have great bends. So like, I'm not playing him on an interior offensive line. Fano is a great athlete, though, like a great athlete. And I also think, like, there's a lot of NFL teams that like him at center. Like, so like there's difference of opinions on him in terms of tackle versus guard versus center. Like, I actually do think that his highest upside might be at center. Like, I kind of agree with those NFL teams to a degree, but I think he can play right tackle. It's just, he's a little bit of an outlier in terms of the arm length. He came in like 32 1/8, which is like historically short. Like, it is a very small, especially for a top 5 NFL draft pick, potentially not a top 10 pick. So I think that he's a good player. Would I be happy taking him at 5? No, I think 5's a little bit too rich for Fano. If he was a trade back option, I would be a lot more on a Fano type of conversation, right? So like, he's a guy that I think has been linked in the top 10 a ton, but I'm curious to see if that starts to dwindle a little bit just because of that, like a little bit of like outlier length. His wingspan's not horrible, which is good, but like his arm length is really, really short. So I'm interested to see there. The one guy that just keeps flying up boards, though, is Monroe Freeling out of Georgia. Like, he just keeps moving on up. And I think it was Dane Brugler who put him in a mock draft in, like, number 32 or 31 overall in, like, November or something like that. Like, Dane was early on Freeling. And based upon people that I talked to in Indy, man, I think that he is the favorites, is kind of how I would say it, to be the first offensive lineman off the board. Like, I think he is that. Because he was a blindside protector at Georgia. Started a decent amount 2 years ago, I think like 4 or 5 games, but he mixed in a lot even when he wasn't starting, to being the full-time starter this year. And he is raw in some spots because I just don't think he's played enough football. Like, he just is a relatively inexperienced player to a degree, but he has the length that you want, the requisite athleticism. I mean, he's an explosive athlete. He showed that at the combine. So I think he could eventually be a top 10 pick. If not, he's a top 11 to 12 pick potentially in this draft. I think Freeling eventually goes there. But again, coming back to the same question, should either one of those guys be the pick at 5? No, I don't think either guy should be at 5. Like, it's too early, right? Like, I would rather have Monroe Freeling in the 10 to 15 bucket. I would rather have a player like Spencer Fano at like 8 to 15 or 9 to 15, like somewhere in that ballpark. I think that's more of kind of where those guys fit, but ultimately we know, like quarterbacks, like edge rushers, offensive tackles get pushed up the board a ton. So I expect at least one of those guys to go in the top 10, but if he gets picked at 5, I think it could end up being a good pick long term, but like the practicality of where they are today as players, it would give me some pause for sure.
Of course, we're here with Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports, also on the best podcast available. There's right now, if we take a look at the Giants and we take a look at their needs and we take a look at everything that's going on, is there a player, and it doesn't have to be a first rounder, are there a group of players, or are there 1 or 2 players that when you take, I know you just mentioned you just did a mock draft for the Giants, but are there a group of players that potentially fit what Harbaugh likes to do? Like I said, Denard Wilson, we don't know what he's going to run yet defensively because of the fact that, you know, he had to do with what he had to work with in Tennessee. Matt Nagy, we know, likes to run a West Coast style offense. We can see the body of work with Mitchell Trubisky in 1 year with Justin Fields. But is there a player out there, or maybe a couple players out there that the Giants could look at, maybe not in the first round, that would give them an immediate? One of the things that bugs me about the Giants, and has been for years, I always got upset with Gettleman and Reese towards the end, and now with Joe Shane. A lot of times they draft players on potential talent. We talked about that briefly in the beginning. Athletes. They brought in guys that may not be ready to play right now, but in 3-4 years, man, we always heard this high side. And I always felt that we passed on guys that may not have as high as an upside potentially, but are immediate talent and can play right away. Is there a guy maybe in the second, we don't have a third, but maybe in the second or the fourth round that the Giants can look at and say, you know what, this guy could come in day one and either challenge for a job or win a job, coming out of camp?
Yeah, I think there's value anywhere in every draft, right? So there's always guys that I think kind of fit this billing. I think Max Ionacher out of Arizona State is a guy that could potentially plug into that right tackle spots, early in the second round if he gets there. There's a possibility he goes late first, but like if he's there in the 30s, I wouldn't be shocked if he's there in the 30s. I think that he's a guy that, if you don't bring back Jermaine, like I think that he makes a lot of sense in terms of being a plug and play tackle because he's shown a lot of improvement the last 2 years at Arizona State. He's a little bit on the older side in terms of like the other offensive tackles in this class. But one thing I think we miss with offensive linemen sometimes is it's one of the positions that experience actually does matter so much, right? Like we just kind of look past experience sometimes and be like, oh, that, it doesn't matter. But at like quarterback and offensive line, experience matters a lot, man. Like it really does. At running back, not as much, obviously. At wide receiver, not as much. Like there's other positions that experience just doesn't matter as much to me in terms of an evaluation process, but offensive line, it does. And I think Max is a very intriguing player in terms of like, he brings an upside to him because he's a good athlete and has length, but he's also a guy that's played a lot of football comparatively to some other dudes as well. So he could be a right tackle that kind of plugs and plays a little bit in this class. Defensively, I know you mentioned, you don't exactly know what Denard Wilson's going to do and all that type of stuff, but I do know that the secondary has been a point of emphasis for the Giants and will be a point of emphasis for the Giants. And I think Traden Stukes out of Arizona is like one of my favorite players in this class because you talk about how can he fit in X, Y, or Z system. Well, he can fit anywhere, I believe, because he's a guy that can play nickel, can play both safety spots, and there's some NFL teams that actually like Stukes as an outside corner. I mean, he just ran 4.33 at the combine and did explosive jumps over 40 inches. So I think Stukes can plug into any secondary because he can play at least two different positions, if not 3 to 4. Like he's got some legitimate upside, is a versatile piece on the back end. And then if I just want to throw like, I think one of the more underrated wide receivers in this class that I think you could get like in the 4th round, and I wouldn't be shocked if he plays a lot early. And I don't know if he starts year 1, but maybe like a year 2 starter, is Dazon Stribling out of Ole Miss, a guy that was an Oklahoma State transfer. He kind of fits that modern, what everyone's looking for in like that McVay system of like those power slots, right? Physical, detailed, just guys that can win through contact. He's a guy that is not, he actually ran faster than I thought he was going to, but he doesn't really like flash 4.36 speed on film. Like he's more of just like a good overall athlete who's incredibly physical, strong, will block, will do all the types of things. And I know Wan'Dale Robinson played a little bit between outside and inside, especially this last year with like Malik Neighbors' injury and whatnot, but like he was mostly like a guy that you wanted to play in tighter quarters in the slot. I think if you want a guy that can just come in and plug and at least give you some reps immediately in the slot and maybe develop into a starter by year 2, year 3, I think Dazon Stribling's a guy in like the mid rounds that could make a lot of sense for some teams.
I was holding off on some of these questions, but I saw the Jennings dunker. I mean, the Creed video alone, running the 40, that's classic. The hair, the mustache, anyone that follows this show knows that I am looking for a player, and that's Jacob Rodriguez, only because of the fact that mustache alone. I missed out on the porn stash with Gardner Minshew, but so Jacob Rodriguez is just a guy I always look at. But Mr. Dunker, I mean, outside of the video, outside of the 40 and everything, and all of the drills he ran, what's the perception, or where do you see him going in the draft?
I think he's a player that's very interesting because he's been obviously a right tackle at Iowa, but he's a guy that I think most teams do see more as an inside player in the NFL, even though he has requisite length for the position, and he tested well enough where you say like you can give us a shot at offensive tackle. But I do think he lacks flexibility and some explosiveness laterally more than anything, right? Which I think will hurt him in pass protection. Like he's a good run blocker. Like he is good on the move, especially. Like Iowa kind of mix and matches, inside and outside zone a lot. So you'll see him get an upfield shoulder and be able to run his feet and to work through contact and all that type of stuff. So I think Dunker has developmental upside as an interior offensive lineman on the NFL level. He's a guard more than anything. But his experience does give you some like, okay, maybe he can at least get me out of a game at tackle if an injury happens, that type of thing, which early in his career, and we're talking more probably like a third round-ish type of player. If he goes in that range, if he's not a starter, he's going to be a main swing early on in his NFL career. So he needs to be able to show that he can play a couple different positions, which I think he can do in a pinch, if not on a full-time basis. So he's probably a developmental guard that can play some tackle in a pinch, but I do think that he has some appeal from a requisite, just he has experience, he has physicality, he blocks his butt off, man. Like he is one of the more just kind of high effort blockers in this class. But I do think that some of us just slightly are creating him into a mythical being of sorts in terms of like, I mean, because like he's what an offensive lineman's supposed to look like, right? Like you want the mullets, you want the mustache, you want the demeanor he has. You want the crazy diet that he does where he drinks. I forget how many thousands of calories he eats every single day, but it's something where if I did it, I would throw up every single day, right? So, and obviously he's a Division I athlete who's burning it off a lot faster. So that's why he can maintain that.
But that's why he can do that.
Yes, he can do that. He can absolutely do that with the amount of work that he's putting in on a daily process. So I think he's a likable player. I think the NFL does like him a lot. I think he's probably going to go off the board somewhere third round, give or take a round, I suppose. But I do think there's some limitations to him at offensive tackle, but I do think that he has an appeal as a developmental guard inside.
The Giants have safety issues. Holland, yes, who had a serendipitous drop that year in Miami, we give him the big contract, and I still haven't figured that out why. Tyler Nubin was the best safety in the draft a few years ago, but I said sometimes when you're the best safety in a bad draft does not make you a very good player. And everyone here knows that I'm going to spend $1.98 and buy him a protractor because he doesn't know how to take an angle. And this name, I've heard this before on the show with Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Yep. Is that someone that the Giants should have an eye on coming up in this draft? Only because of the fact that the weakness that we do have in, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't know a lot about him. Yep. I know he's a safety, so that's right. That's kind of where I draw my expertise from.
So I have a love-hate relationship with Emmanuel McNeil Warren, and not as a player. I love Emmanuel McNeil Warren as a player. I have a love-hate relationship because I actually recommended him to an agent when he was a sophomore in college, and I got a percentage of some contracts if he would have signed with that agent, and he did not sign with that agent. So it cost me a little bit of money, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. But I remember watching him when he was a sophomore during Quinyon Mitchell's last year, and I just kind of wrote his number down because I'm like, who the heck is that kid? Like, he's 6'3", 210 pounds. Jason Candle, who's now at UConn, the head coach, like he did an incredible job. They found just undervalued Florida recruits that wanted to come up and prove their worth in the MAC. And you talk about now 3 straight years where they went from Quinyon Mitchell to Darius Alexander, the defensive tackle, who was a top 100 pick last year, now to Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Like they have found these just studs out of the state of Florida who have become great developmental players, right? And have developed into high caliber draft picks. And I think that Emmanuel McNeil Warren has a very good chance to go in the first rounds. I think that it's probably like 80-20 that he does go in the first round, but there's a possibility that he does slide to the early second rounds possibility because it is actually a great safety class. I know that, it's a position that we undervalue to a degree in terms of like just the populace, but I do think that you can get a couple starting safeties in this class throughout. Like, I mean, from round 1 to round 4, I think there's quality players that could play a lot early on, especially. So I think Emmanuel McNeil Warren, like he's so fun because he's got the size and you look at him and you're like, that's a box safety, right? Like he's a guy that you want to come down, play some robber, a guy to get involved, get his nose dirty. But he actually has better range on the back end than you would anticipate as well. Like he's got those really long strides, so he has played a lot from depth. He's just a really versatile player that does everything pretty well. I'm not going to play him as a single high free safety consistently, but as like a 2-high guy that can come down, play some mid-hole, run the alleys. Like he can do a lot of fun things from from his eyes being proactive moving forward. So I love Emmanuel McNeil Warren. If he is somewhere there in the early 30s for the Giants to go and pounce on, like, yes, it would make a lot of sense, particularly, just the value there, because I do think there's a pretty decent chance that he goes in the first rounds.
So people are reporting that Jermaine Illuminor is going to be on with Kay Adams at 12. That is actually incorrect. That is actually incorrect. Oh. That is a false rumor. So, I actually saw that and I was like, wait a minute, let me double check. And I'm like, no, that is a false rumor, because I was like, well, that could be a little speculation that where we're going to be going direction wise. We also have the venerable Mike Washington, the running back out of Arkansas, had his first 1,000-yard season, has played since going back, I think, to 2021. He's a 5-year. I think he's a 5-year guy. I think that the Giants still need some running back depth. I'm not overly. You get Cam Scatterbo coming back off the injury. You have Tyrone Tracy, who was a wide receiver most of his career, didn't really start playing running back until his last year in college, is still learning the position. You bring back Devin Singletary, but he's going to be more of that third down guy. If the Giants are truly going to go with a 4 tight end set, which just seems a little bit they're heading towards, with just bringing back Manhurts and potentially with Theo Johnson. There's also talk about bringing back in Dane Bellinger. Would someone like a Mike Johnson? I'm assuming not Mike Johnson, Mike Washington fit into what the New York Giants may potentially be looking to do. I mean, this is a guy that averaged, like, I think it was over 6 yards his last season. So he is a guy that's, has, to your point, has played, and we've talked about this before. I hate quarterbacks that are 1-year guys, that put up 50 touchdowns in one season and that's it, and then they come in the league. But this is a guy that's he's carried the rock, going back 5 years in college, and like I said, he had his breakout season this last season. I mean, is this someone else that maybe potentially the Giants should have on their radar?
Yeah, I mean, definitely be on the radar for sure. I mean, I think he's a player that's had a fascinating journey, obviously, to the 5 years. He spent time at Buffalo, New Mexico State, and then now at Arkansas, and he has had good production before this year, but like this year was his year at Arkansas, and he really did take like that next step forward. And I think that so I got a text from a buddy who's an area scouts on the NFC side for a team, and he texted me and was just, I think it was like in October. He's like, hey man, Mike Washington. I was like, okay, what about Mike Washington? He's like, he's going to be like a 3rd to 4th round pick in this draft. And he's going to be tremendous value. He's going to go earlier than people think. Well, fast forward several weeks now, it feels like Mike Washington is everybody's running back to know in this draft, right? So like, I'm curious to see just what the ultimate value is of him in terms of where he comes off the board, because he's no secret at this point anymore, right? Like, he's not a secret. He ran 4.33 at the combine. He tested exceptionally well. He was a standout at the Senior Bowl down in Mobile as well. So like, he's had a great process so far. The running back 2 conversation behind Jeremiah Love is wide open. Like, it's wide open. It's Jadarian Price. It's Mike Washington. It's Jonah Coleman for Washington. There's a lot of players that are like kind of gunning to be that second running back off the board. I think Mike Washington has the momentum in terms of that conversation. Like, I still think it could be Jadarian Price from Notre Dame, but it wouldn't be shocking to me if Washington does become the second running back off the board, if not the third running back off the board. And if he's that, he might be a top 2 round guy. Like, he might end up being a 2nd round pick. So he might be pricing himself out in terms of like trying to be that mid round guy that NFL teams are really going to fight over. He might be just kind of continuing to rise to that side, but he is 6 foot, 223 pounds is what he weighed in at. He played at 228 this past year at Arkansas. He's physical. He's explosive. He's got decent hands out of the backfield too. He's a horrible pass protector right now. So like, that is like one area that you're like, all right, Mike, we need to figure that out to potentially maybe develop into a 3-down type of guy, even though that's kind of, I don't really care about that in the NFL nowadays anyway, but like, just to be usable on passing downs in terms of pass protection is an area of concern for Mike Washington. But he's a guy that I think is steadily in the 2nd round conversation here. And man, if he ends up being a top 64 pick, a top 2 rounder, I wouldn't be shocked at all at this point. If he ends up being a top 50 guy, though, I wouldn't be surprised either. Like, it's going to be fascinating to see where he comes off the board, but he is a very talented player who has done the process as well as you can do the process so far.
I want to thank the 260 people that are still here, and that everyone just take a breath. We're getting there. We are 7 minutes away. We're here with Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports. Make sure you go check out Ryan. Check out your Twitter page is, I don't want to get it wrong.
At Rise and Drafts.
There, exactly. You can also find all this in the link. You'll also be able to find this all on the X page as well. Right now, there's just I've talked to people in the league, and I've talked to a couple people here and there, and you kind of mentioned it before that this draft, some are saying, and this happens every few years, this is not the strongest draft in reference to what people perceive to be as top tier talent, guys that are going to come in and really make a difference. You have some people projecting that next year's draft is going to be that big draft, but I always say you never know. I mean, anytime people say something's going to be a hard draft, you have, 4 guys that are Hall of Famers, 5 guys that are Hall of Famers and Pro Bowlers. So I never really get into much of that, but a team like the Giants, if you look at our depth chart, we have so many different holes, and we're not going to be able to fill these all in free agency. Is this a good draft for Harbaugh and Joe Schoen to kind of look at? And in some ways, the coffer is empty outside of like 6 guys on the Giants, if we're going to be perfectly honest. And there's going to be a lot of talent that we need to bring in. Is this a good draft that there is going to be potentially developmental pieces for the Giants that they could take a look at and say, hey, listen, you know what? He may have to play immediately, but it could be a guy or a couple guys that can come in here and really help this organization become more than a 3 to 4 win team.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a team by team basis in terms of how we're defining this as a good draft. I think it's a below average draft just overall, but the spots that I think the Giants are going to have interest in, I think actually line up with the strengths of this class. Like if they needed a quarterback and they needed a left tackle and they needed a defensive end, I would be like, it's not a great draft. Like it's not a great one, but for a team that needs safeties, absolutely, it's a great draft. It's a great safety draft, a linebacker draft. Even if you don't get Sonny Styles at 5, like it is a great linebacker draft. It's a really good corner class, and it's a good wide receiver group. Like it's not a historical one that we've seen over the last like X amount of years, probably like 4 of the last 5. But it's a good wide receiver group as well. So if you're in the market, which I assume that the Giants are, in wide receivers, in linebackers, safeties, corners, and then, we'll see at right tackle. I think it's a better right tackle class than is a left tackle class, which is good for them as well. I think that the positions of need actually line up with the strengths of this class in a great way, right? Like, again, like if you didn't have Jackson Darts and you didn't have your quarterback and you needed to overload your both offensive tackles and you didn't have Andrew Thomas, so I know he's been dealing with stuff back and forth the last few years, but if you didn't have those couple positions that are taken care of, at least in the short term, I think you look at this draft and being like, oh, this sucks. Like, this is really bad. Or if it was a running back, I mean, like we're talking about like a mid-round running back to add to the room, right? But like if you desperately needed like Jeremiah Love and you needed a difference maker at running back, well, if you don't get Jeremiah Love, you don't have that in this class. Like there's no other Jeremiah Love or even close to Jeremiah Love. So there are some teams that I look at and say like the Jets for one, right? I think the Jets are going to have a great class because they have a lot of picks, but their number 2 overall pick, they would have loved it to have been a quarterback, and they don't have a quarterback that is going to be available to that they want to draft at number 2 overall. So they got into a bad spot with a position that they need that this class isn't very good at. So I think that the Giants do have an opportunity to upgrade some of their biggest needs on the roster, because I think that their biggest needs actually do kind of coincide with what is the strengths of the 2026 group overall.
All right, everyone, we got 3 minutes in waiting. It's almost Cinderella countdown to midnight. I did want to bring up one player that I'm actually enamored with a little bit, and it's also because I know his father. But Josiah Trotter. I don't see him as a at Missouri. I don't see him as a 3-down guy. I don't see him as a three down linebacker whatsoever. But I see him in the later rounds, or maybe in a little bit earlier rounds, as more of a value pick. I do think the talent is there, but what is your opinion or your assessment on Jeremiah Trotter's getting down? Not to mention that I know his father.
Sure, the X-Man.
I'm not gonna bring that up.
Yeah, no, I grew up outside of Philadelphia, so I love Jeremiah Trotter Senior.
We're over in Bucks County here, so
yes,
we grew up in Jersey too. So
we actually did some trivia in the combine because I believe he went to Stephen F. Austin, if I remember correctly. So we were doing some college trivia about Jeremiah Trotter and some of the older guys, and it's funny. It's like when I was watching Jeremiah Trotter Jr., right, like a couple years ago, I watched him and I'm like, I don't see any of his pops in his game.
No,
undersized, just not the same type of player, right? Josiah's got a lot more Jeremiah Trotter Sr. than Jeremiah Trotter Jr. does, which is kind of funny, right? Like, he's a really physical downhill player. I agree with you. He's not a very good pass coverage linebacker, and I don't think he'll ever be a very good pass coverage linebacker. But as a early down run plugger, I think that he's got a lot of high upside. He's one of the more advanced guys in terms of taking on blocks and getting off of blocks, and then to be just kind of proactive in his fits. Like, I feel like he's one of those guys that's just kind of always in the right gap. And he's always in the right spot. So I think he's a really kind of intelligent player as well. And I think the athleticism is good, like in short bursts. And I think his range is solid enough to be a pure early down run guy that can play to the perimeter as well. So like, I like a lot of the run game stuff. The pass coverage stuff is not great, which is going to devalue him to a degree in the modern NFL. But I still think there's a chance that he goes in the third rounds, if not somewhere in the fourth round. Like third to fourth round bucket is kind of where I think he goes. But I think that, and for people that followed me, like I was not a big Jeremiah Trotter Jr. fan as a player. Like I actually did not like Jr. at all. I like Josiah Trotter. Like, I think Josiah Trotter has the upside to be a good starter in the NFL as an early down run stopper. So I like Josiah, and I think that he can be a value in this draft as well.
Just a little bit more side note on the Kay Adams thing. Someone's telling me, and I trust this person, that Jermaine Illuminor canceled the noon appearance with Kay Adams. So I don't. Again, you take that. Take that for what it's worth. I really can't tell you, but we are a minute away from the kickoff of legal tampering. I never understood. I worked in the league for years, but back in the early 2000s, and this legal tampering thing they
apparently they changed it. I don't know if you saw this. They announced on I forget if it was Rappaport or Pelissero, or maybe it was
I saw Rappaport. Oh yeah, I saw Rappaport posted.
It's now called the negotiation period or something like that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We're done with the legal tampering. Yeah,
I like legal tampering. Because it's fun. It's just I was gonna say it's just more fun to have. Yeah. If there, like I said, we are now at noon. There's already talk and speculation that Wan'Dale Robinson's already going to Tennessee for almost $16 million. I can't see that, but we'll have to wait and see what the numbers come out at. Is there a player in this free agency? And I know you are the draft expert, but you follow the NFL. Sure. Is there a player in this free agency that you look at for the Giants that may be an under the radar name, a guy that Giant fans, because we have had so much speculation over the last month that it's just crazy. But is there a guy out there that the Giants could get that people aren't seeing, and you could be like, well, you know what, that really is that really could help this organization?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, when I look at the Giants, I think secondary is obviously a huge area of priority. And I think that Alontae Taylor is a guy that I really like out of New Orleans, the Saints. He had a good year this past year. It was been a little bit up and down in his first contract, but I think there's been some really good stuff. He was out of Tennessee originally, and I liked him a ton coming out of Tennessee, and he got off to a pretty good start and then had a little bit of a down trot and then played well this year. He's a really physical outside corner, though, that's played inside as well. So like he can kind of mix and match playing outside and in the nickel. So I think that he's a guy that, again, we talk about like a universal fit for some players. That guy that can play a couple different spots is universally a really liked player by a lot of different teams because he could fit an X, Y, or Z spot on a team potentially. So I think Alontae Taylor is a really interesting one that I've kind of had my eyes on because I think that I don't know what his market's going to be in terms of, because like, again, he's been up and down. So I don't know if his value is going to be as tremendous in some of the corners in his class, like the Seattle guys, for instance, right? But I do think that he is a guy that can be a value in this group if he's a guy that, does find a home. And I don't know if it'll be the Giants, but I do think that some team is going to get a versatile nickel corner that can do a lot of different things if he stays healthy.
You brought up something I wanted to touch on in reference to various positions. There you always hear, and I always go back to Isaiah Simmons. I did not like Isaiah Simmons coming out of college. I thought he needed to it was almost like pick a lane. He came here to the Giants and he's like, I want to play safety. No, I don't want to play safety. He had his own mandates because he was the typical tweener. That guy that you don't know if he's a linebacker, you don't even know if he's a fucking corner at any point in time. When someone's coming out of college and they have that label, and I've been trying to think of guys that really truly had that label, who became, very good to great pros. And I was having a hard time thinking of a guy that really came out with that, with that, I don't want to say stigmatism, but had that label. Is the position that if you're undefined, how much does that really hurt you coming into the NFL? Because like I said, I can't really think of guys that were tweeners in college that kind of came in here and set the league on fire.
No, it's a great question because it's a fascinating conversation that we actually had on Best Pod Available recently, where we had Fran Duffy on, who I love Fran, and we were talking about there's a huge difference between being a tweener and being versatile, right?
Yes.
Like I feel like we throw them both in the same bucket.
But
One
it's-
is a positive thing. The other one has a very negative connotation. Like a tweener means that you don't have a home. And like the important thing for being versatile is you need to have a home first before you could be versatile and do other things. Like you need a spot that you say that can be my spot. And then your versatility allows you to do a lot of different things if it chooses to be. Like it's like Denzel Ward for the Cleveland Browns, where like he can play outside corner at a high level, but he's also a great nickel, so you can throw him inside the nickel. Same thing, you know. With I mean, there's several players that are that talented that they can do those types of things, right? So but it is anytime we hear the word tweener, that is a huge negative, and we need to make sure the guys have a home before we take advantage of the versatility. If they are a tweener, that means they're not useful for us right now. Like developmental upside is great, but like, again, you need a little bit of a floor of substantiation in terms of playing one spot to begin with. So, I mean, this class, like, there's not like a ton of those guys that I can think of that are going to go super early that I would call like necessarily tweeners, right? Like, I guess some people would probably categorize Orville Reestad at Ohio State. I don't agree with that one. But I'm trying to think if there's any others that like are clearly tweeners that just kind of don't have a home. I'm not sure if I'll give you one that was probably going to be a top 100 pick that I think is going to go day 3 now because I just don't think he has home. Is LT Overton out of Alabama, the defensive lineman. He's one of those guys that like he came in as a defensive end and he was listed at like 6'5", 285. So you're like, okay, that's like hovering on like, is he a 3 technique? Is he an odd man front end? Is he a guy that's going to cut some weight and play 4-3 defensive end all the time, blah, 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 blah. Well, it turns out his official measurements are not nearly what people thought they were. And he's only like 6'2.5", and he's 276 pounds, where you're like, man, I don't think you're twitchy enough to be a pure outside pass rusher. And I also don't think now that you're only 276, 278 pounds, that you're a guy that can play inside it more than a handful of snaps a game as like an interior rusher. So I guess he's a guy that I think of like that does have that tweener label that I think does actually fit into the tweener category. But I do think that there's like, again, that we have to have a deep conversation of like the differences between being a tweener and being versatile. One is a very good thing. One is a very, very, very bad thing.
We have our first signing right now. Alex Pierce is going to stay with the Indianapolis Colts. He agrees to a 4-year, $110 million deal. That's okay. Well, I'm glad the Giants didn't go that direction because I 4-year, $114 million makes him the highest paid free agent wide receiver in NFL history. Everyone knows, he's a speed guy, but Al Davis, God rest his soul, who used to just draft on speed. You've watched his production in reference to his catch percentage and everything else drop as his workload has increased. So I'm kind of glad. And then they're also talking about Daniel Jones and potentially staying in Indianapolis. So he's on the transition tag right now for $38 million. So that's going to be an interesting pick. The reason I was getting into the tweener, I don't know how much longer we have you for, so because I don't want to take up all your time, but Abdul Carter. I was not a fan of the Abdul Carter pick. I'm probably one of the few Giant fans out there because of the fact that he spent I'm not going to call him a failed off the ball linebacker at Penn State, but he had an extremely high missed tackle percentage that second season. Of course, Penn State moves him on the line after they lost to one guy in the first round, one guy in the third round, does everything that he does. But to me, he's in the NFL. He's not a linebacker. I don't think he has the ability to drop back into coverage. I don't think he has the ability to properly set the edge. He's an undersized defensive end with speed. I've seen him get pushed around quite a bit. We saw, especially him going back to everyone goes back to the Jet game, preseason game, where he basically got shot putted by a third string tight end. While he has the speed rush, why he leads the league, and everyone likes to talk about the venerable Pro Football Focus, he led the league in 2-second rushes. He was 11th in the league in pressures, and I've always said the same thing. Pressures need to equate to something that is a stat that doesn't really pressure can be great, but you look at someone like Justin Herbert, especially his rookie season, who thrived and his passing percentage actually went up when he was under duress. So pressures need to equate to an interception. They need to equate to a completion. So I hate that stat. But I take a look at his game. I said it before coming out of the draft. We also had Jerry Oslowski on, the 10-year veteran for the Buffalo Bills, who was a huge Penn State fan, said the same thing, that he thought he should have been more of a situational pass rusher because in my mind, as he played more, his production kind of dropped and dipped. I saw him more as a Bryce Huff guy that like when the Jets used him a couple of years back, used him as a situational pass rusher, create mismatches for him. And in my mind, and maybe you can alleviate this coming out of college, I just still think that he is a guy that's not really a defensive end. He's not really a linebacker. He has the speed and the rush, but speed can be equalized. We saw him numerous times having the right or left tackle push him out to the edge, push him out to the sideline. So we have to have more of a loop, and he wasn't cutting back inside quick enough. Where do you see Abdul Carter's ceiling after year one, and where do you see him positionally with the Giants?
So I always said that, and I was high on Abdul Carter, so I guess I'm coming from a slightly positive.
That's what I know that.
Yeah. So I liked Abdul Carter a lot because but I always did say that I thought he was a year 2, year 3 breakout guy, not a year 1 breakout guy. So like going number 3 overall was probably like a tick high in most drafts, but like he is a guy that needs to still learn the position, right? Like he's only been playing it for 1 year in college anyway, until this season. And then he makes that massive leap forward. So I do think that there's still some rawness to him, but I think the positive that I saw at Penn State, at least, and I didn't follow him with the Giants this year outside of just like those numbers that you're kind of talking about. I mean, I watched them when they were playing against like the Eagles and stuff like that, but like I haven't sat down and watched the all 22 film of Abdul Carter this past year. But the thing I loved is like, I remember the first game of the season during his last year at Penn State, and the 8th, 9th, 10th game of the season, he was improving massively down that stretch, right? So he was getting a lot better. And I think that this offseason is going to be huge for him in terms of that next jump, because I think that the God-given athleticism that he has is a huge bonus, and the ability to threaten the outside track, to threaten the outside shoulder is a huge plus. But one thing that I do 100% agree on is that now he needs a counter. He needs a change up. Like he needs to, whether that is ability to convert speed to power, whether that is tools in the toolbox to be able to hit an inside move or to be able to hit a secondary rush, like those types of things need to kind of come. So I think this is going to dictate a lot this offseason in terms of like what his upside is as a player, like how mature his game is becoming in terms of like the nuances of it. You were betting on the athlete coming out of Penn State, and I'm okay with betting on the athlete at edge to a certain degree, because I do think that when you look at the great edge rushers that we've had, a lot of those guys are made on a different planet, right? Like they're freakazoids. And I do think that Abdul Carter is absolutely a freakazoid as well. But ultimately it's going to come down to whether he was worth that pick and whether he hits his upside is just how mature he becomes in his game from a technique perspective, or he adds power to his profile. One of those two things need to come. And if both things come, he's going to be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. But that is all going to be very dependent on just kind of the work that he puts in the offseason and the development that he has from year 1 to year 2.
I keep forgetting. Don't forget to hit the like button. I want to thank all the people that are also following over on X and on Instagram. I want to thank the 300 plus people that are still hanging out, because we're waiting for any type of Giant news. we are. It's like Christmas, but the problem is this: you got to go out and buy your own present, and then you hope the Giants wrap it up for you and give you to. Slider actually has a good thing. Carter needs to learn how to bull rush. Serious speed means nothing if you rely on the same move over and over again. Do you remember, and like I said, and I'm not trying to say Abdul Carter equals this player, but O'Shane Zimenez out of Old Dominion years ago. I remember him when he came over to the Giants as a 3rd round pick. He was basically a speed guy with one move, and he had 5.5 sacks his rookie season as the Giants. Then he basically had a very pedestrian career, and I'm not even sure he was with New England for a period of time a year ago. But he was a guy that never, and of course you're not really comparing the 3rd overall pick to a guy taking the 3rd round, but he is a guy that never developed anything in reference to any type of move besides the speed move, besides the speed rush. He never developed a power rush. It was like, oh my God, you could do a spin, you could do a swim. There's so many things that you can do, but he's never developed anything. Is there any fear? And someone actually pointed out that, that Abdul Carter's not going to learn anything if he's continuously sleeping in team meetings, because he's been dinged a few times for that. Is there any concern? And like I said, I've never talked to Abdul Carter. I mean, the maturity level of a player, sometimes, you see people coming out of college, and Micah Parsons was one of them. Until, that last year at Penn State, there was concerns about the maturity level. Then he had he had the kid and everything. They kind of said everything kind of just came around. That's that last season at Penn State, and everyone here likes to compare him to Parsons. I don't see that comparison whatsoever. But is there any concern, especially coming out of college? And there's a different breed than when I was in the league. There was a different breed of players. There was a different professionalism. There wasn't social media. There wasn't this. But how much of a concern is it now that the maturity level of some of these guys coming out at such a high level aren't maybe not where they were like 10 years ago? That some of these guys are more interested in doing TikTok videos than potentially learning and this is good because I'm old and you're young. So this is a good question. That they're just, they're more interested in the ancillary things in the NFL than learning their craft.
No, it's a fair question. I think this will be my last one, just so you know. I do the pop off, but so it's a great question because I've talked to a lot of NFL people about this because I do think there's a lot more distractions in today's world than there once was. Obviously, yeah. And I mean, it's not even just the social media, TikTok, like generation, like all that type of stuff. It's also like players are getting paid now legally, right? Like on the college level. So like, there's a lot more distractions. Guys have more money in their pocket, and it's money that we know more about than we used to know about, right? So a lot more distractions. The one good thing, and I actually talked to a scout about this in terms of like the NIL compensation stuff, is that the NFL actually loves that players are getting compensated now because they know they can now more adequately, they can observe work habits for players that get money in their pocket and see if that motivates them to want more money or if it doesn't and they end up having bad work habits because they just have money in their pocket and they just kind of coast off of who they are already, right? So I think that it's at the end of the day, we always talk about, the combine and the all-star games and seeing what the players do on the field. But ultimately, this whole draft process is based upon a lot of multi-layers. And a lot of the layers are the character reports and these meetings and these 30 visits and all these types of things, because we always just look at the eye in the sky and that's what matters most. And I think for everyone, but it also does come down to you are investing in people ultimately, right? So I did hear some maturity stuff about Abdul Carter coming out of Penn State, though. Like I did, I will admit that. Like there were some things of like work habit stuff as far as like, does he, is he going to coast off of being just more athletic than everybody, or is he going to work his butt off? Like there are some question marks, and there always are going to be with some of these guys. My question now for Abdul Carter is, you had an up and down rookie year. There were some positives. There were a lot of questions, and you have a lot of questions to answer now going into year 2 and beyond. Do you want to be great? Like that's what it's ultimately going to come down to. And I don't know that because like you said, I've maybe had one exchange with Abdul Carter in my life, like maybe one. And so I don't know him personally. I don't know how he ticks. I have seen some of those reports you're talking about in terms of like him not being locked in the settings that he needs to be locked in on, all that type of stuff. So is that maturity, or is he just a lazy person? Like, I don't know the answer to that. That's a differentiation we need to make. But I do think that they have a lot of resources out there to be able to kind of dig into these types of things. But again, it's all going to come down to just how good he wants to be. Because like the gentleman who was talking in the chat, and you had it up there of like adding moves to his profile and adding power to his profile, all that stuff is teachable. Why Abdul Carter was drafted so high is the unteachable stuff. Like you looked at him and said, that dude is twitchy as hell. He moves incredibly athletic. For a first-year starter on the position, like you saw the upside of him as a speed rusher. Now can he add those things to his profile? Most people just assume that you will, right? Like with NFL coaching and an NFL strength program, like most people assume that you will, but you won't unless you have those work habits that we talked about. So it's going to be up to Abdul Carter. Like it really is. Like if he is a good, I don't want to say bad player. If he's an underwhelming player, a good player, a great player, or anything inside of that spectrum, it's all going to be dependent on just how good he wants to be. And we'll see what that ultimately wants to be.
Well, again, we're here with Ryan Robertson. Ryan, I do appreciate you coming on. Ryan, of course, is from A to Z Sports. They're also on the best podcast available. You can find him at Draft and Ryzen, of course, on X. We're also going to have all this in the link. You also can find the rebroadcast of this episode on YouTube and on the Believe Network. So, Ryan, I really do appreciate you spending as much time as you did. And like you said, I'm very curious to see where this direction goes with free agency and the Giants and the draft itself.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's going to be a wild ride from here to the end of April. So I appreciate you for having me on. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, hope to do it again in the future.
You're always invited back.
Sounds good. I appreciate you.
Right, appreciate it. Of course, that was Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports. That was a great segment. I think he gave us a lot of insight into the draft. Gave us a lot of insight into. I do think the Abdul Carter portion was to me was a phenomenal portion. I want to thank 314 people. Don't forget to hit the like button. I forgot to tell people. Don't forget to hit the like button, because I always forget to tell people to do that. Let's see what we got going. I mean, do we have anything going on here? The Alex Pierce thing wasn't to me. I was not shocked by that, because of the fact that they did tag him. I am surprised that deal got done so quickly. Let's see here. The Raiders have agreed to Eric Stokes on a 3-year, $30 million deal, and they're keeping the former first rounder. He's going to get $20 million guaranteed right now. It's I'm going to tell you the Alex Pierce thing. Does that open up for Pittman? Does that up for Michael Pittman Jr.? I like Michael Pittman Jr. We did a years ago. We went to the where did we go where was it was at the Senior Bowl that we actually did an interview. I have to actually go find it. We did an interview with Michael Pittman Jr. And because I was a big fan of his father. Of course, he was over in Tampa for a period of time as well. I think that's a guy that if you're looking to pair someone on the other side of Malik Neighbors, that could potentially be a fit. I am literally just continuously just clicking this damn button. I'm like, please, Lord, give us something. Give me anything. Let's see. The Patriots are signing, Jamonte Jordan to a 3-year, $39 million deal. He was with the Titans and the Ravens last year, catching 7 sacks, career high 55 pressures. That's a big keep for Mike Vrabel. So I do think that's going to be. I do think that's interesting as well. I'm trying to see what else we have going on out here. That was a really good segment with Ryan. I was very happy with that. I think that gave us a lot of good insight and a lot of good speculation of what the Giants could potentially do. I'm still looking. I keep seeing these names. Cordell Flott, Jermaine Illuminor, Isaiah Likely, Vera Tucker, Wyatt Teller, Leo Chanel, and Daniel Bellinger. I keep seeing those as the big names coming over the Giants. I just don't see it cap-wise. I'm literally sitting here trying to figure out cap-wise how the hell are you going to fit all these guys under the salary cap and still have the ability to draft to bring in other guys. Let's see here. PP says LT is the greatest defensive player ever. He's the last defensive player to win the NFL MVP. You're right. That was Mr. Greg. That was very informative. It's Mr. Greg says the Giants are signed to Vera Tucker from the Jets, according to CBS. Let's see here. Let's see. I like that move. I would like that move if that is correct. That Vera Tucker is coming. According to CBS, NFL CBS News? Because that would be, like I said, the Vera Tucker thing. I mean, you're getting an all-world talent. You're getting a guard that if you take a look at the way he plays, if you take a look at, it's going to be where he needs to be. That's going to spell the end of John Runyon. The only problem with Vera Tucker is, can he stay on the field? Now, I don't know if I have not seen it reported anyplace else yet. He didn't play all last year. I mean, he missed 8 games in 22, and I think he missed 11 in 23. He did play every game in his rookie season, and he played 15 games in 24, and he missed all of 25. It would depend on what they brought him in at. If they bring him in at a qualifying prove-it deal, I can understand it. I love it. Ryan Dunleavy says 12-15, nothing from the Jets and Giants. Did they forget to push the clocks ahead? I got 12:23. I got 12:23 and wondering if they push the fucking clocks ahead. I actually thought Wan'Dale Robinson would have been one of the first people off the board. And I'm not seeing anything about the Vera Tucker. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything about the Giants are, let's see here. Giants progressing on the deal right now with pending free agent Cordell Flott. Flott is considered one of their main free agents, and the Giants like to keep starting at the beginning of free agency. That was 2 hours ago by Doug Rush. Let's see. We see that he canceled his interview with Kay Adams. I thought there would be a lot more going on. The noise right now for Vera Tucker is getting louder per Jordan Renan, but I'm not seeing anything else right now. And like I said, we're going to continue to look right here, make sure we're going to keep refreshing on multiple websites. People are like, why are you not looking at the camera? Because I'm refreshing. Kenneth Walker is signing with the Kansas City Chiefs per The Athletic. And so that's going to be that's per The Athletic right now that Kenneth Walker is headed to the Kansas City Chiefs. We heard about Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs now for a while. I don't really think that's much of a surprise. Big James Williams says, hit that. James, are you working? Because I could use a co-host. I could use a co-host for another hour. Kenneth Walker, we got the Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. Let's see here. They're bringing back the same players. The one fear I had. Well, they haven't brought back anybody yet. No run on Papa Smurf. Kenneth Walker, to me, to the Chiefs made the most sense. Kenneth Walker is a guy that the Giants, let's see here. The buzz right now, the Giants are going to sign Quincy Williams, Vera Tucker, and Nick Folk, while the Jets are going to sign Bobby Okereke, Micah McFadden, and Austin Schlottman. All New York problem solved. I think that was a joke. But let's see here. But Kenneth Walker, it made all the sense in the world. They need a quality running back. They need a patient running back. They need a guy that can move downfield. I'm not seeing anything crazy about that. You know what I am seeing crazy? I'm seeing crazy right now. We need to talk about the mighty FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com, the number one sports book in America. We all love FanDuel here, and I've already said it before, and I'm going to give you time, and I'm going to wait. Go to your app store, download the FanDuel app. It's the easiest app you're ever going to use in reference to using an app for sports betting. New customers right now in the My FanDuel get $300. Wait. What is this? Get $300, up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days on new customers. Go to the website right now. Get up to $300 in bonus bets for 10 days if your bets don't win. Join the sports book now. I just saw that from the mighty FanDuel. I'm going to say, wow. I'm going to say this again. New customers get up to $300 back in bonus bets for 10 days if your bets don't win. That is on FanDuel right now. Enjoy the sports book, enjoy the casino, enjoy the fantasy, enjoy the racing, the research, the television. I do love FanDuel TV. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when I'm watching the show, I do have the FanDuel TV up in the background in the corner there. So, like I said, if you're looking for a place that you literally can do your parlays, it's the easiest freaking place. It's the easiest place to do it. It's the easiest thing to do. And right now we're betting you get a 30% profit boost on parlays. Get a daily 30% profits boost token to use on 3-leg parlays, same game parlay plus wagers for any college basketball game taking place today. And that is Monday. I don't even know what the day is. Well, the 11th, I think, but make sure you do there. Go to the mighty FanDuel.com, FanDuel.com, number one sportsbook in America. Like I said, go down and download the freaking app. If you're looking for an easy thing, and they got something going on. I like golf, and right now get up to 50% back on player boost to use for the Players Championship 17-hole markets. I'm going to let you go in there and take a look at that, especially for those golfers. That's FanDuel.com, the number one sports book in America. All the talk about Walker coming here, but nothing but dead air. Well, no, you have to have something to talk about. You got to have something to talk about. And Kenneth Walker to the Giants. But like you said, after you signed Singletary, you had to know the Kenneth Walker thing was done. You had to know at that point in time the Kenneth Walker deal was all fugazi. So I mean that was a dead giveaway right now. I keep looking to see if there's anything. Make sure you're hitting the like button, people, because we only have 46 likes and I need 50 likes. I want to thank all the people that are watching all over the stratosphere. Let's see here. We got another. Let's check another notification. Let's get up to 60 likes because I'm going to be on for at least another hour, and I probably will come back on. I don't know if I'm going to come back on today, but we might. We also have the big gift memberships from the Funky Town. We always love the gift memberships because we get to see who's hiding in the chat. So, let's see. Anyone hiding in the chat that shouldn't be in the chat? I'm just gonna throw out there. Excellent. Let's see. What's the Chode Sports breaking news? Oh, that was probably give me 10 minutes and I'll hop on before work. All right, good, because I got another hour. I'm gonna fill in another hour. I'm not eating lunch. I got my pee bottle. I got my other bottles of water. I got my vitamins. I didn't bring any food because evidently I'm stupid. But don't forget, let's head out there. Let's see. Let's keep refreshing here. Let's see what the Giants. I'm still kind of befuddled by the Alex Pierce thing. I'm not gonna lie. And now, right now, that they're just saying keep an eye on the Pittman situation as a trade target for the Giants per Art Stapleton. I think Pittman, and like I said, I like Michael Pittman. I liked him when we met him. I liked his dad. I know I met his dad before. He's a good kid. He's a good professional. He had the two big seasons in 21 and 22. He had only 80 catches for 718. He's now more of a possession guy than he's going to be a speed guy. So he's going to be not a full down the field compliment guy, but yeah, I think he would be a good fit for the Giants. I'm trying to find out what his contract value is. I'm trying to see what his contract value is now. Yeah, and like I said, I like Michael Pittman. I've met Michael Pittman Sr. So went over in Tampa. So I have a problem with that. But what is Michael Pittman's contract value? Let's see. What is Michael Pittman's contract? I'm curious about that. Let's go find that out. He signed a 3-year, $70 million extension in 24, keeping him on. Let's see here. The deal includes $46 million in total guaranteed, 15 in signing bonuses, 26 cap hit as high as $29 million. No, we're good. We're good. He's got $29 million. No Uncrustables. No, they're up in there. I don't want to be rude about it, but I threw out the Uncrustables. I literally threw out the Uncrustables. Where am I in the market though? Where am I in the market? I got to see how bad the market is today. I haven't been checking. No, well, it's not terrible. Only down 300 points. That's not terrible. That's not god awful. The problem is this. It's we don't have an oil issue. Oil speculation is what's driving all this. It's not an oil issue. We have plenty of oil. We have tons of oil. It's the speculation that's always the thing with oil prices. Speculation is what's always gets you. I got to jump back in some of these stocks. I always buy on the down, and that gives you more money on the up. So, all right, let's see here. Are the Giants still interested in Tremaine Edmonds? I don't know. Looks like we're running back with this team. It looks like we're running back with this team again. Well, you can't say anything that yet, guys. Come on. Let's not. Again, if I am the voice of reason, I love it right now. Come on, do something. Come on, Giants. You need to do something. You need to do something for the 300 whatever people that are still watching. 340 people that are watching this shit. Come on, we got to do something here. I don't know what we're going to do, but we got to do something. I do find it interesting that Jermaine Illuminor was supposed to be on with Kay Adams and all of a sudden canceled that. According to Jordan Renan, the Giants did put in an offer to Kenneth Walker. That's interesting. So they did put in an offer to Kenneth Walker. Now, like I said, when you brought back Singletary, I just did not see the value of bringing him in. I just didn't see it. I'm still trying to figure out if there's anything. And like I said, Kansas City to me makes the most sense. And I tried to explain. I mentioned this to people. Let's see. The best offer the Jaguars received for Brian Thomas Jr. was a conditional 5th rounder. I don't think that's correct. I think they probably got a better deal from that. Let's see here. Rashawn Gary looks like he's going to go over to Dallas still. Dallas and Green Bay, man, they just like making those fucking trades. They're like, hey, let's make a trade. Why not? Let's just trade. Let's see here. Late to the stream. Well, you haven't missed anything yet. Let's see here. MC says someone on Twitter said the Jets offered a 2nd rounder for Hyatt. Dumbest tweet ever. Well, here, just for you.
Stupid giant Twitter posts.
You notice I didn't play any sound effects when Ryan was here because I was being professional. Being professional, guys. That's called being professional. It's called being a professional in the field. Evidently, I was told that, when you get paid to do this, you got to be professional. Professional. You go to Webster's, look at this face. That's professionalism. Late to the stream. You're never late. They could trade Singletary. No, yes, they could still trade Singletary, but Singletary, this is the thing that people misconception. I didn't want to get into it yesterday because some people were making my head hurt on the stream. Singletary did not restructure. Singletary took a pay cut to stay here. He literally took a pay cut to stay with the Giants. There was no restructure. So that's different. So no, I think Singletary's, I'm taking my vitamins. There's like 8 of them lined up. They could definitely trade him. Yeah, we got Mr. Perry. We got the Chief Scott Walker. The Giants evidently did put in an offer, according to Jordan Renan. Oh, it's so great. I really thought the Giants were going to do something early. This is like last year. Remember last year when we waited, and we signed Chris Board. All right, let's see here. The Tampa Bay Bucks are, let's see, they're finalizing a deal for their star tight end. We didn't need a tight end, so we're okay with that. Let's see here. I still think we're going to go with a 4 tight end set. I just keep thinking Isaiah Likely is a likely option. Because you bring back Manhurts, you got Theo Johnson, you bring back Bellinger on the cheap, and you get Isaiah. That's a 4. You're running a 4 tight end set. Okay, let's see here. Still, Art Stapleton is talking about given the lucrative deal to Indianapolis, I would keep an eye on Michael Pittman to the New York Giants with considering the train. It's 20. He's got fucking $29 million contract this year. You would have to trade for him and then restructure because I'm not giving $29 million to Michael Pittman. Travis Kelce is now expected to return to the Chiefs. Boy, we dodged that one, didn't we? Let's see here. But they did make an offer. We are basically trying to rebuild the 2022. We haven't done anything yet. Guys, relax. When I'm the voice of reason, I've always said it before, we're fucked. They do always have a hesitation to sign good players. You're right. We must be going all in the draft. Now, you still have to go in free agency. We just don't have this money. And I keep looking at the numbers and I keep looking at the people that everyone wants to sign. I'm just not seeing the math. And I don't like being the Behringer of bad news, but I don't fucking see the math adding up. I mean, there's going to be restructures. There's going to be moves. There's going to be, if you get a Vera Tucker, but if you get a Vera Tucker, can you really get rid of John Runyon? He hasn't played in a year and a half. I'm just not seeing the math on all these big names.
That's not the way you're supposed to do it, Dad. They want us to do it.
I don't know that way. Why would they change math? Math is math.
Okay,
Math
Dad.
is math.
Math is math. Don't fucking change math. I mean, I'll put the link in the chat 'cause I thought I saw James is going to come on. Here we go. Where do we go, my lovely? I want to know. Let's hit the like button, guys. Let's get up to 60. We got 51 likes. Let's get up to 6 likes. Like the 355 people that are still watching, because the Giants have to do something. I have to leave here at 1:30. You have to do something. Please do anything. I mean, give me a nugget, because I can't even get a chicken nugget. Give me a nugget. There's this big push right now for Pittman. I mean, if you could get Brian Thomas Jr. for a 5, and I don't think that's true, I would send 2 5s for Brian Thomas Jr. because Pittman's owed $29 million this year. You would have to trade for him, and you got to restructure the deal. Let's see here. The New England Patriots released one of their linebackers. I'm not really that interested in that. Let's see here. The Texans have agreed to standout guard Ed Ingram to a deal here on terms 3 years, $37.5 million to keep him in Houston. That's $12.5 million a year. This is the thing then about the Jermaine Illuminor deal. Ed Ingram got $37.5 over 3, 12.5 a year. So you can't pay Jermaine Illuminor that same amount. That's crazy. You can't pay him that. That's nuts. New York Giants are going to sign Joe Mixon to $2 million per season, and everyone's going to celebrate as a steal sign court. And that's just rumor and speculation. I don't think the Giants are going to go after Joe Mixon. Let's see. There's still talk and speculation that Wan'Dale Robinson would be $15 to $18 million a year. Well, Wan'Dale, hope you have a good career wherever you end up. Let's see. The Chiefs. Let's see. Another former Chief. Let's see. Kansas City quarterback Jalen Watson reached an agreement on a 3-year deal with the Los Angeles Rams per Colin Roberts. The Rams now have 2 former Chief corners, and Watson and McDuffie. They are the KC Rams. That's an interesting deal. I'm not gonna lie, that's an interesting deal. Let's see here. My screen just went bonkers. Don't tempt. I would literally pee myself a little if we got Brian Thomas Jr. I would pee myself a little too. Got to cut John Runyon, bring back the Lord and our Savior, Evan Neal. Of course, every Giant content creator blames Dave Gettleman for his incompetence. Okay, how about 4 years later? It's still Gettleman's fault, and it's not Joe's fault. Well, it's always Gettleman's fault. We all know it's fucking Gettleman's fault. What the hell, man? Come on. Where do we go, my lovely? I want to know. I don't like this thing. I like that. I don't like that thing. I'm tired of being professional. Got to cut John Runyon, bring back. Oh, we already got to that one. Let's see here. Dawn, God damn it. If Joe, what the fuck are these contracts horrible? Go sit in the corner and do what you did, sir. Sorry, Joe. Brian Thomas Jr. would be, if the rumors are true. This is the big thing. If the rumors are true that there was only a 5th rounder given to Brian Thomas Jr., I would literally call them up. I would literally call up the Jacksonville Jaguars and offer a 2nd rounder for Brian Thomas Jr. Oh, they did release. Okay. Thanks for screwing up the cap, Joe. Thanks for nothing. Free agency. No, free agency. Come on, James. It's fucking early. Free agency's not a bust right now. My understanding, the Giants put in an offer per source. Yeah, the Giants put in an offer for Kenneth Walker. I mean, honestly, if I'm Kenneth Walker, I'm not coming to the Giants. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude about that. Let's see here. Oh, Jalen Phillips. Oh, Eagle fans. Jalen Phillips has signed a 4-year, $120 million deal with the. Holy shit. Jalen Phillips agrees to a 4-year, $120 million deal with the Carolina Panthers. $80 million of that is guaranteed.
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Okay, so 3 years. Let's see here. 3 years, $51 million, $34 guaranteed by Colin Roberts. The Rams sign. Let's see here. Yeah, that's crazy. The Eagles are breathing a sigh of relief. This cornerback market is just pushing it up too much, man. This cornerback market's fucking crazy. I can't. What are you gonna get? What are you gonna give Cordell Flotto at 6 good games, $160 million? That's fucking crazy. That would literally be fucking insane. Let's see here. Let's see. We got the Jalen Watson thing. Let's see here. That I don't know, man. This free. You have teams that have a good amount of money, and it's gonna be fucking crazy. As you're hitting the like button, it's gonna be nuts. You got a lot of teams with a lot of cap space, and then yes, you have to spend like 80 or like 95% of your cap space, which I do find interesting. But they are throwing stupid money around here. And some of these players, Phillips getting that much money, that's insanity wrapped in craziness. I'm trying to see on my other phone if there's any deals coming down the pike. I'm trying to get a better understanding and idea here. Oh, where do we go? I thought James said he was going to come on in 10 minutes. What are you lying to me, James? I'm a little upset here. I figured the Giants would have done something. I figured the Giants would have said that you figured they were going to have some speculation and some talk on their own free agents. So I kind of thought that the Giants would be bringing back one of their guys. But to not, 45 minutes in the free agency to not bring back anybody, that's kind of nutty. That's kind of, I'm a little befuddled and stuff. I'm still trying to find. Someone's texting me a rumor. Someone's texting me a rumor right now. I'm not gonna say this rumor because I don't know. I can't tell you if it's truthful or not. It would be interesting. If something happens with the Giants in the next 10 minutes, then I will mention this rumor. But I'm gonna put the phone down for a second because I got a weird rumor from the Giants. Let's see here. The Colts are sending Michael Pittman over to the Steelers right now. So Michael Pittman has been moved on to the Steelers. We got to wait like 10 minutes, guys. I got a rumor, and we got to wait 10 minutes. Michael Pittman was not coming to the Giants. He's owed $29 million. Giant fans like, damn, we didn't get Pittman. We didn't get Pittman at $29 million. Darn. What I can't believe that didn't happen. Let's see here. What else we got going on here? I got the coughs now. Let's see here. I don't want we got any other news here. Laramie Tunstall reached an agreement with a 2-year, $60 million contract extension to stay with the Washington Commanders. Per his business manager, the guaranteed money is led to be $61.5 million guaranteed, including the biggest signing bonus for an offensive lineman of $32.5 million. Tunstall was the first NFL offensive lineman to reach $20 million per year. That's interesting for the Washington Redskins. The Commanders were another one of those teams that had a plethora of cap space. So let's see here. You got a lot of teams that are making some moves here. You got a lot of teams that are wheeling and dealing a little bit. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Let's repost that. Let's see here. I'm trying to ask this person about this move. It's a good rumor. It's actually a really good rumor. And you know me, guys. I won't give you a rumor unless it's something that I can confirm. And this person keeps telling me, yeah, this is what's going on, but I can't confirm it. I have no way to confirm it. Pittman to the Steelers. Let's see here. Randall says the Giants don't have the balls to make a big move. They don't have the cap space. The Giants need to be, they need to be, not using a military term. They need to be like a sniper. They need to lay in the bushes. They need to, and I keep saying this before. I thought the Giants were going to be one big move, then second tier guys. I always thought that's the direction the Giants were going to head. They're going to have one big move and then second level guys. So I'm kind of curious. I'm bored, Tim. Me too. You can imagine you have to do this for a living. Let's see. James says, okay, I might be jumping the gun, but what the hell are they going to do? Come on, Giants, do something. We've done absolutely nothing. Malik Willis to the Dolphins. Oh, there we go. Malik Willis, 3 years, $67 million, $45 million guaranteed, baby. My man got paid. Oh my God. And I was joking with the wife that we were moving back to Miami. We are going to Miami. Malik to the fit. I got to text the wife. Oh, Malik Willis got paid. To all the motherfuckers out there that told me it was a bum, that told me I was wrong. To all of you. The man went and got what he was worth. I think he also went back with Jeff Hafley over in Miami. That means I'm going to have to make a trip out to Miami. That means I'm going to have to. But to all the people that doubted us, to all the people that all they could ever say to me is, well, you got Malik Willis wrong. Well, the man went off the board before the Giants made a move. The man got paid. The man got $60+ million to go and be the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. And to all the people that doubted us,
Fuck you!
oh yeah, boy. Who's bringing the boom?
I find gotta get to work.
Draft, baby.
We'll just do it anyways. Oh yeah, it's a big Malik.
Yes.
Come on. My name is Willie Beeman. I keep the ladies clean. And all my fans got to see me. You defeat me. You're dreaming.
Malik Willis, the Miami Dolphins.
Nice.
Malik Willis. Bring the
Oh, of course, later we're going to play the Malik Willis soundbite. Big James.
Yo.
We are sitting here. We are 51 minutes into free agency. And we are still sitting here, and we are 51 minutes into free agency. I thought it would be slow for the Giants. I didn't think it was going to be I didn't think it was going to be anything spectacular, only because of the fact that if you take a look at the amount of cap space they have, I didn't really see them making a huge splash, but I kind of figured they would do something and do something.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
I thought they
Figured you'd do something.
I thought we would do anything. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a little wine before I go to work because it's a nice day and I had a little something to eat. A little wine will do me nice, put me in a good mood, and it won't make me want to.
All right, guys, this is what I was talking about. Likely to the Giants, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
I just made a. Someone told me a move, and that I should have reported it because I would have been a hero. But likely to the Giants, 3 years, $40 million, back with John Harbaugh. And that was the rumor that I just got. And I told people in 10 minutes you would hear something, and I don't want to say anything. But 10 minutes later, we got our first move.
So we have 5 tight ends now.
Well, we have 4.
Okay.
We have Manhurts. We have Likely. We have We have Theo Johnson. Well, actually, we have, and then unless we sign, no, we have 3 right now.
Okay.
So we will have 4 if we bring back Bellinger.
If we bring back, which we're probably not going to do now.
Winston, you're not breaking news. Sorry, bro. I already told you there was a move coming in 10 minutes.
First off, let me just say 2 things real quick. One, shout out to my brother who never gets the respect he deserves, because 2 hours after they cut Tua, Miami picks up Malik, aka Willie Beeman. A lot of you, that's why I hate the Giants. Giants content community. You don't even give props to each other when you guys are right. It's kind of a sad, sickly church group. But shout out to my brother and our cult leader for being right on Malik. And also RIP. Today's March 9th. RIP to Notorious B.I.G., greatest rapper ever walked the earth.
No, about that. I can't.
Doesn't matter.
I can't give you that one. But I did say Malik Willis to the Miami Dolphins. And Mrs. OBB is already going woohoo because we're going back to Miami. Now I have a reason to move back to Miami.
I mean, it's such a. I'm not gonna be lying. Like, again, the Giants fans. Let me just say this for Tim. How about all of you just calm down, go about your day, enjoy the weather, and just let the news come as it comes. Stop reading all the headlines, reading up to this, because we were never getting Kenneth Walker. It was never going to happen.
Because James, if they did that, there would be nobody watching, and I wouldn't be unbelievable.
Oh, yes. Well, yes. Well, they can listen while they're at work, like I do, you know.
Okay.
You could put it on while you're driving, while you're doing other stuff, but don't sit here on your hands and knees waiting for us to sign the son of I don't know who. You know, like it's going to be a couple day process. We got Isaiah Likely, and honestly, huh?
I like it. I've been pitching.
You have to like it. He signs and he's automatically the best tight end on the team.
Well,
I mean, come on, right off the jump.
Come on, that's not us here. But we have been on the Isaiah Likely signing right there. There's the picks that I wanted: Isaiah Likely, Quay Walker, Quan Jennings, and Tyler Lindenbaum. So we have one of my 4. I made that. I've been creative, James. You know that I made that to look like the old Street and Smith magazine.
That one looks nice. That one looks nice.
I don't even know if Street and Smith's still around, to be honest. So, I'm just more ecstatic that Malik Willis got paid.
I mean, it's again, the Giants. Nobody gives anybody props when they're actually right about something. It's so just. I don't know what happened to men. Oh yeah, we turned into pansies, but.
Oh shit!
Our cult leader has been talking about this guy since he was at Liberty, and now he has been signed to a major contract where he's going to be the starter going forward after they just cut their starter earlier this morning. But he was wrong about Malik Willis.
And $850+ million in cap space. Then turn around and get Malik. And I just remembered they played the fucking Jets. They play the fucking Jets.
Well, so, Malik, they play the Jets twice every year too. Yeah, and they play the Bills.
But if I don't have to fly out to Miami. They're going to be here in New York, so I can watch.
Oh yeah, no, but go to Miami. You take Miss Online Big Blue for a trip. He'll be there for a couple of years. It's not like he's only there for 1 year.
Going to Miami, definitely going to Miami. That's now.
Oh, I know you are.
Now on the trip, but let's talk about Isaiah Likely for a minute. Shout out to Malik Willis to the show. How good coaching matters. Oh, I agree.
Me model.
There we go, my brother. Happy for Malik Willis. Time for him to show what he can really do. Juwan Jennings, I would like the speculation were some Giant fans that Michael Pittman would come to the Giants, but that was never going to happen when the guy is owed fucking $29 million this year. You would have to restructure his contract and give him an extension because Pittman is not worth $29 million for 70 receptions at 9.8 yards a reception. He's no longer the burner that he was when he first came into the league. So I mean, he would be a possession guy, and we heard rumors that Brian Thomas Jr. from Jacksonville was available, and the highest offer they got was a 5th round pick, which I can't believe is true. I would think that guy would be a second round pick. The low.
Well, maybe we should jump in there and offer a 4th round pick. I'm just saying, sometimes life is not as complicated as people make it out to be. If they're offering 5, I'll go 4.
You know what I already said I would do? I would offer you 2 5th round picks.
Ooh. How about I really jump the shark and go to a 3rd round pick? Oh my God.
I will give you a 5th, 6th, and a 7th.
Up the ante. Triple.
I'll just call it a day. I'm happy for Malik and didn't end up in. I was worried that he was going to end up in Arizona. I was talking to someone that works in Miami and told me that they were going to, and that's why when we talked about it, I said Miami was going to be the spot. That's when I talked about the fact that he was going to go to Miami, and I was kind of hoping that he wasn't going to get swayed by a huge offer in Arizona, because I thought with Jeff Hafley, former defense coordinator for Green Bay, and what they put, I don't think you're going to get rid of, some of their players now, because you can build an offense around Malik Willis. So I know people didn't want to come here and talk about Malik Willis, but I'm going to talk about
No, but I'll also say that as a young player, a young guy in any field, even if he went to Arizona, he still would get an opportunity to show what he's worth. So I'm just happy that he got paid and he's going to get an opportunity to show what he can do. That's what's important.
So now we need to wait for the Linderbaum to fall.
Yeah. If we get Isaiah Likely, Linderbaum, maybe some other linebacker or somebody, I mean, I don't know what some of you were expecting out there. Like, seriously, I don't know what some of you guys were expecting.
We get Linderbaum, Isaiah Likely, Quay Walker, and Juwan Jennings. That would be a pretty good free agency.
I mean, even just 3 out of the 4, or even, let's be honest, man. Like, again, you get 2 out of the 4, maybe another linebacker later. Again, we don't want to sit up here and act like, because, and I saw you on here telling people to calm down. Like, it's the first hour of free agency, and it's like, and people are like, "Oh my God, we weren't the first guy." Would you want to be the Jets and just sign anybody that'll come for money? Like, that's not what you want to do. It's not what you want. You want to build it right. You want to bring in quality guys, and obviously, to all the kids out there, Harbaugh is probably going to put the guys that he knows first on the top of the list.
Yeah. He's going to bring in the Harbaugh guys. We did a whole video on that.
Oh, did you? Did you? Oh my God. I can't believe we did a video on that.
We did a whole video on that. But listen, I like the Isaiah Likely move.
Yes, you have to love it. Not like it. You have to love it.
Well, no,
not like it.
I don't have to love it.
No, you do have to love it, because we ain't had a tight end here in years.
Well, maybe I need some wine, because if we're honest, Isaiah Likely is not going to block. Who
cares?
He is a vertical threat.
Yes.
We have not had a true vertical threat tight end since, you could literally say, since Shockey. I mean,
my man.
If you're looking at a true vertical threat, he is what I wanted with Ty Warren. But Ty Warren gave you more. He was Ty Warren you could run with. You could use him as a running back. You can use him as a blocker.
Sure.
You can do more things with him, but Isaiah Likely is going to stretch the field. He's going to open up the middle of the passing lanes for the running back for Malik Neighbors when he comes back. It's going to be it's a good move.
Hey Tim, it's a great move. How many vertical threats do we have on this team besides Neighbors?
Well, we have Neighbors.
Besides Neighbors?
And we have Neighbors. I just got Neighbors.
Okay, so it's a great move. Most of the fans wanted to sign a guy that just runs around within 10 yards for $14 million a year. So I'll take the tight end who won't block, but he'll catch God knows how many passes down the field.
Now, my question is, though, you don't have a vertical quarterback right now. If we're being,
you want to start that today?
No, I don't. I guess I don't.
I was going to say, I'm going to cut you off, right? Snowpiercer. We're going to not even go there today. It's free agent day.
Yeah, let's see.
And I love you. I'm going to spare you.
Likely can play in the slot too. Bye. Yeah, I think that spells the end of Wandale Robinson.
Oh no, did Papa Smurf get picked up yet?
No. Let's see here now.
This guy, such a threat down the field, hasn't been picked up yet.
That's a good question though. I mean, we don't have 8 tight ends. We have 3. We have the kid. We have what's his name, Thomas, whatever.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was joking. Like we got 5 tight ends now.
We have Thomas, who ain't going to be on the roster no more. We're likely done with Wandale Robinson now. I mean,
there's no likely. We got likely, so yes, we are likely done.
I walked into that one, didn't I? I didn't even. Hey, we're not even at 60 likes, but we have 407 people watching. What the hell's wrong with you people?
We got a lot of snoopers in here. Hit that like button.
Hit the like button. Well, we got to
stop being a couch penny. Hit that like button.
We are dominating over on the thing that called this right now.
The other sphere.
Yeah, the other sphere. I mean, feel bad for poor Rob. He's got 200 people to our 337.
Boom,
shakalaka. I'm just happy about Malik Willis.
I mean, again, if we sign Tyler Linderbaum today with Isaiah Likely, just on the first day, I mean, that's a good day.
Today's gonna be a good day.
We're gonna get the Linderbaum.
Here's more. It's a 3-year, $40 million contract with a potential upside of $47.5 million.
Ooh.
That's
incentives.
That's a big number. That's a big. I mean, listen, I'm not going to complain because he was one of the guys I've been saying we should get since we signed Harbaugh. I mean,
listen, man, one thing we got to start doing here, and that's why who's pass rusher Kingsley Inakuberry. I butchered his name heading to the Jets, whoever that guy is.
So technically, Likely's contract can come in at 15.6 on average. Now that's not for people before they freak out. That's on average. It doesn't mean that's what he's going to get each season, but that would be his average contract value.
And guess what? Some of those same people wanted to give that to Papa Smurf. No.
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute.
No.
I can get another text.
Oh. Insider information incoming. Drum roll. Silent drum roll. Tim is studying, making sure he can read what he's getting so he doesn't expose the sources.
I'm responding to see if he can just give me more information. Okay. Because that is, like I said, it was interesting that he said 10 minutes, Giants will have a deal out. And then he was technically wrong because it was 8 minutes. So
the Jets are signing everybody and their mother. They just signed Demario Davis, linebacker from the Saints.
Who cares?
2 years, 22.
They're the fucking Jets. Who fucking cares? The Saints just signed defensive tackle John Ridgeway to a 2-year, $6.5 million deal. Nobody really cares about that. The Bears are signing another defensive tackle. Don't fucking care about that.
The Cowboys did a trade for Rashawn Gary. I know you covered that already.
We talked about that. Yeah, this is an likely played over 250 snaps from the slot this year, another 80 at wideout, giving him the ability to be an inline block. He's not an inline blocker. This person had me. This Giant report had me until they're telling me that Isaiah Likely is an inline blocker. Isaiah Likely is not.
Well, he's got to make the article. He's got to give it some crust. So he's just adding stuff to sound good.
Oh, evidently, Henry Ruggs, who is eligible for parole on August 5th, and he's being considered by the Cleveland Browns.
Of course he is, because they're the Browns.
We also have a report right now that the New York Giants are still making calls about Fred Warren, which to me would make zero fucking sense.
I'm telling you. I told you that yesterday. I'm just saying. I'm not going to say anything more, but don't tell you.
You did. I can't. I love watching Giant Twitter because all is likely sign. None of these motherfuckers knew who Isaiah Likely was before John Harbaugh signed. I've been talking about Isaiah Likely before we even signed Harbaugh.
I wonder if half of these people even watched Ravens games. Honestly,
yeah, I'm not seeing
that guy. That guy's going to be a nice addition and a nice weapon for us. And that's a great move. It is. There's too many times in free agency here where we bring in guys, people, that's a great move. No, it's not.
This is an
Isaiah Likely. Yes. And if we get the Linderbaum, like you've been predicting for weeks now, that'll be another great move.
Let's see here. Daniel Bellinger will not be returning to the Giants. He will continue elsewhere. That's coming from Paul Schwartz.
Oh my God! Didn't we just say that? Oh my God! Thank you, Paul.
Sorry, still.
I think we should just take some of these guys' jobs. Thanks.
I think we should too.
I think we should. Seriously, it's like we're doing better. You're in the man cave. I'm sitting here drinking some wine. We could probably do better just calling it off the chin. It's like obviously we're not bringing back Bellinger. Then we'd have 5 tight ends. Thanks, Paul.
Well, now I have to stay on for at least another 15 minutes. I was going to stay on to 1:30 anyways, but if
you're waiting to hear something?
No, he's telling me again 15 minutes. He's saying 15 minutes.
Okay. Something's about to drop.
He said something's about to drop it like it's hot. He won't say.
You need a Funkmaster Flex bomb sound.
He won't. I do. Actually, I really do.
No, you do.
Really do. He won't say what, but he's saying 15. I don't know if he's going to call me in 15 or if he's
stand by.
But I think something Giant related is going to happen in 15 minutes.
Stand by. Joe Shane is finally getting the axe.
Joe Shane is finally out the motherfucking door.
John's probably looking around going, I could do this without you. Me and Dawn are okay. Why don't you just take the day? It's a nice day. Go to the park.
It's a nice day. Go outside.
Play in traffic.
Let's see. I've heard $15 million. Let's see here. Dan Dugan has also reported that $15 million a year for Walker. Giants weren't going to go that high for the running back, but they were in on Walker, on Kenneth Walker.
Well, the Chiefs need him. They need that.
The Chiefs need him. That was
so they weren't going to get outbid.
That move made sense for the Kansas City Chiefs. That move made sense. Does Tua go to Arizona?
Where else is he going to go? Minnesota? I don't think they want him.
Gary Myers. I don't think the Miami Dolphins signing Malik Willis takes him out of the number 1 running next year. He threw 89 passes in 2 years for Green Bay. He was a bust in Tennessee. Gary Myers, you're fucking racist.
Why? I just want to ask the question, and this is rhetorical, even though my. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take it.
You want me to say it? You want me to say it?
Why was he a bust?
Black man. Getting paid.
But why was he a bust in Tennessee playing for a coach who actually is a little prejudiced and didn't want to play him? What makes him a bust?
Wait a minute. You mean the guy that was in New England for 15 minutes and said, let's get rid of that Joe Milton guy?
The guy who gets rid of every black quarterback wherever he goes? Sure.
The guy that basically didn't say anything when Ryan Tannehill said, well, I'm not here to mentor Malik Willis. But as soon as Will Levis came in, Ryan Tannehill said, well, I'm here to make him better, Will Levis.
And Ryan Tannehill right now is sitting where I am.
Exactly. Bellinger, if this is correct, per Dan Levy, per Ryan Dunleavy, Bellinger is looking for $6 to $7 million. Well, good luck.
I was going to say, sure he is. And I'm looking for a shark that can go on land, that can walk around like a dog.
Well, I've seen that movie.
I have too.
so we know that. So we know that's possible. So we know that's okay. I know I'm not allowed to say it. Okay, I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'm just not allowed to talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, no, wait for another day. Another day.
You got a vertical threat without a vertical quarterback. I'm not going to say
Stop it.
I know.
Stop that.
But I just keep thinking of it. I just keep thinking.
I know you do because you have a brain, but you got to put that on the left side of your brain for right now.
Right now, it's on the wrong side of the brain because it keeps coming up in my brain. It keeps coming up in my brain. I don't.
And again, it's not a personal thing to him because I gave him the name, so obviously I hoped he would be better. But I just want to know where Papa Smurf is going to go because so many Giants fans are like, we have to sign him, we have to sign him, we have to keep him, and then it's free agency and he's still sitting there.
You know he's going to go to what you call it.
Yeah, I know he is.
You know
I know he is.
He's going to Tennessee.
And we called that on your one of your Sunday services a couple weeks ago too. So
let's see here. I would be happy if Tyler. I would be stag Tyler. I'm telling you, we're going to resign Flott. The cornerback market is so fucking out of whack right now.
It is.
That did the Giants just? It looks like did the Giants just sign somebody? Let's see here. They're so fucking out of whack right now that you're gonna have to give like $14 to $16 million for Cordell Flott. Could anyone really fathom that or even put that in?
Oh, somebody just went to the Panthers. Is that the dude from the Eagles?
Oh, he went to that was a while ago. We signed like $120 million.
Oh, okay. I'm watching Pat McAfee and I'm watching the thing on the bottom just go through all the free agent signings.
So it looks like the news wasn't a big news, but it looks like the Giants are looks like they're signing Jordan Schlott or
Pittman to the Steelers. You covered that? Yeah,
we covered that. Jordan Schlott. It looks like the Giants are going to be signing the punter for from the Baltimore Ravens.
We're getting the punter from the Ravens.
Looks like we're getting the punter from the Ravens, according to what's just breaking right now. And that would be interesting because that would fall within the 15-minute time frame.
Oh, that was the big news.
Well, no, he didn't say it was big news. He just said
said there's a signing. Oh, no copy. That's true.
He just said signing, and here it is right here. Jordan Schlott, punter, 3 years, $12 million deal. Good. That means we got rid of the Scottish Hammer.
Can we stop giving out nicknames to everybody who? The Scottish Hammer. Why did he get that name? That's rhetorical. Also, can we stop with that in the Harbaugh era? Can we stop giving out nicknames just because you put on the jersey? Please.
I don't want to say anything, but we're now 2 for 2 predicting when the Giants were going to drop news. I don't want to say anything.
Well, you're usually pretty on point. That's why we have to give you your flowers. Oh, here you go. There goes Pat McAfee. Jordan Stout, 3-year, $12 million deal, as the cult leader just pointed out and brought to us first. Pat McAfee, ESPN, are just talking about it. Deal cannot be signed until Wednesday.
I got another text.
Uh-oh.
I got another text.
I can't stand the rain.
Blame it on the rain.
Window.
Blame it on the sun that's shining bright.
And again, to all of you who don't know how this works, of course, Harbaugh is going to sign the guys that he knows and trusts.
Harbaugh guys. Kenneth Gainwell just went to the Steelers. That's not a big deal. Kenneth Gainwell.
Steelers are the Buck. Oh, okay.
I laugh. Since February of 2024, Ben Simmons has played in 59 games. Wait a minute, watch this. Joel Embiid has played in 52.
What?
Yep.
You know what? That's why we're going to have to do that other podcast because we can't talk about that right now.
I'm dragging the fucking feet.
We Snowpiercer. I don't want to get on Ben Simmons right now.
Yeah, but we just signed the punter, so we were right again. Or he was right again. I'm not going to say we were right again.
It pays to have good sources.
It pays to have some. I'm not going to talk about it. I'll talk to you about it off air. But I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about where this guy is. But I'll talk about it.
It doesn't matter. He's under Joe Shane's coffee mug. Just following him around.
Oh, I love it right now. Trending in sports. It's Malik Willis.
As he should be.
Yeah, because motherfucker got paid.
Again, that guy came from Liberty. Liberty. Not Liberty Grand Theft Auto. Liberty the school.
They cut.
Oh, Malik, I think he's on Pat McAfee. I can't hear it right now, but he's doing an interview. Good for him, man. Good for him, man.
Cut Tua and ate almost $100 million in cap space to sign Malik Willis.
Damn, I almost made an inappropriate black joke. Snowpiercer.
You can. It's okay.
Well, they had to get a real black guy in there, Just saying.
Listen, I just called the sport writer a racist, okay? and that was where the express written that was not of the express written whatever the show is. I don't even know what the fuck the show is.
I'm just saying. We got to save some stuff for the other, because I got some stuff. I got some material. I'm not going to lie.
Let's see here. Tim might be taking over the Selvey job, or maybe for Ian Connor. Yeah, Shefty's job. I might be taking over Shefty's job. No, because this person is giving us information at great peril. Let's just say that.
And also, again, Shefty, but Tim is the Shefty of the Giants. Shefty does the whole league.
Yeah.
So
of the Giants.
Yes. Tim is the Shefty Ian O'Connor of the Giants. And we love him. We appreciate him. Look at Malik on here getting interviews.
I love what's her name? Patricia Trainer. The mom of the Giant community. She writes for
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
One thing I hope that the Giants GM Joe Shane has learned in free agency is patience. I get it. There's only so much to go around. And if someone is dragging their heels, you move on. But is it worth potentially losing a guy who could be a key piece to your team? Joe Shane ain't doing shit.
I was going to say, what's going on in the room right now? Joe's going over, hey, I got this idea. And John's going, oh, that's great. Hey, could you pick up my clean out my cat litter box over there? Thanks. It's a little dirty. And then come back with your idea. Thanks.
All right, I got it. Hold on. Let's just double check.
15 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
He got $45 million guaranteed, 67 for a kid from Liberty.
Well, he was at Auburn. Couldn't get past the kid who was the coach's son. 10 minutes.
Let's just see. Ooh, now it's down to 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay. I like this.
10 minutes. This. We potentially have, and we've already predicted the last two deals. This source that is in great peril to give us this information is saying another Giant related news in 10 minutes.
Ooh. Joe Shane is cleaning out the litter box.
So 10 minutes.
And I'm really happy for that. Sports is also, it's about winning, but it's about seeing good stories. And honestly, the Malik Willis story is actually a really great story. And dude, hopefully
you're more in on the Malik Willis story than I am.
No, because we sat here. I had to sit here for 5-6 goddamn years and hear about some pansy from Duke and how great he was for 6 goddamn years. All these trolls and mushrooms on Giants content and Twitter and YouTube, and so I'm happy to see a kid who actually is going to get a chance, who really built himself up from nothing, came from nowhere, and now he's going to get a chance to start on a team that honestly has had a quarterback since Dan Marino.
I love it. Someone put Ricky Scoops predicted Walker to Kansas City. Yeah, so did like half the fucking league.
It's like, okay.
Stop with this Ricky Scoops fucking.
You know who also predicted that? Taylor Swift, because she knew from Travis. Get out of here.
I mean, I love it because all this motherfucker does is take information from regional news and say that it's his. It was like with the Eagles signing. Well, they just signed Jalen Carter, so that means Jordan Davis is on the block. Well, yeah, you just signed a motherfucker to $100 million. So yeah, his running mate is probably going to be on the trade block. And then that was reported in the Philadelphia newspaper 5 hours before this guy broke the news.
I'll say on a side note that the Lions are totally breaking up their team. Like they got rid of it. They traded David Montgomery. Then they let go of one of their linemen. Now a linebacker just went somewhere. Their Super Bowl window might be closing a little bit. Might be closing.
What's Miami's cap space? They just ate $100 million. I mean,
happily.
How fucked up is that? How bad? And I don't even think Tua is that bad of a quarterback.
No. Stop. Again, no. If you can't win a game in a below 50-degree weather, you are not a good quarterback. Stop. Period. End letter. That guy could not win a game in below 50 degrees. That's ridiculous.
So wait a minute. It's not $100 million. It's pre-June 1st. Yeah, the pre-June 1st is 99. But if he does a post-June 1st cut, which is probably going to be at 60. All right, so it's not as bad. It's not as horrid as I thought it was going to be.
Horrid.
I don't think they're getting rid of Jalen Waddle now, though.
No, because you want to have that guy to somebody to throw to. So no.
I love that. No.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not as dignified as our cult leader, and I don't say everything the proper way, but no.
I love that. No, we're not doing that. We're not.
It's like we just ate $100 million. We kicked this other guy out, brought this new guy in. Probably going to need somebody to throw to.
So they're saying that the Titans are signing Daniel Bellinger. OC Brian Dable. That's
spicy. Did he get his $7 million?
I think he got like $6.58.
Ew. So the Titans are basically going to be Giants mid-South?
Yeah. Giants, I do like
okay.
It. I do think it's about Giants. Yeah, the Giants have to come up with this deal in 6 minutes because I have to go at 1:30. Let's see here. We got it. Oh, they did. So we're inevitably releasing. I love Giant cut. I love Giant reporters. This one's from Ryan Dunleavy. Giants got their punter, so they are going to inevitably release Jamie Gillian. Yeah, no, we're going to keep two punters.
Yeah, because you never know.
We're gonna keep two punters right now, so we're good. We're good. Oh my god, what is wrong with people?
Oh, what if we sign Mike Evans? That'd be nice.
I don't think Mike Evans is leaving Tampa. Mike Evans loves Tampa.
He does? You would know.
He literally loves Tampa. I mean, he he loves Tampa. And also I think there would be an uprising because the community loves him as well.
Oh, okay. They're actually going to keep the guys that the community, the team likes. Wow, we should follow that.
Towards this end of his career, yeah. Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere.
$7.5 million deal, $45 million fully guaranteed in a deal done by David Mulugeta of Athletes First. There's a lot to like in Miami I have to repost that. Got to repost that. I got to find Malik Willis interview. Come on, Giants. You got a couple minutes. You got 4. I want to know what this deal is going to be. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to fucking happen. It's going to pop as soon as I leave.
Oh, I know you are.
Well,
I'll be sitting right here before. I'm like, oh, wow. Just left. If we'd have waited 100 more seconds.
Well, this is what's going to happen. Someone in the chat's going to come up in 11 minutes, and someone in the chat's going to be, well, it wasn't 10 minutes. It was 12 minutes. You were wrong.
Oh yeah. I know. God forbid you were off by 60 seconds.
Nothing burger, but signing nothingness. No, we're good. We're good. The Giants are petitioning the NFL to carry 100 players on their 53-man roster. So we still wouldn't have any cap space. Let's see here. I don't know. Like I said, I'm waiting to see what's going to pop, man. I'm waiting.
I wish we could do some Avengers time warp where we could see how this day would have gone if Harbaugh wasn't here and Shane was really running it with like a Stefanski. I would love to know who's the first guy we would have signed. How much? That's
a good question. I want to thank the 414 people that are tuned in. Also want to thank Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports. Well, I thought that was
he was good.
I thought that was a really good draft segment.
Yeah. Good job, brother Ryan. You know a lot of Ryans.
I'm gonna try to have Ryan back on again. I was gonna say something bad. But I haven't been drinking.
I love you so much. I know. I said that on purpose. I'm sorry.
I was like, at least he's talented.
Oh God, this guy. That's what. All right, we got to do the other podcast so you can just this guy. Bears signing Kobe Bryant. Bears signed Kobe Bryant. Just get off that.
I'm dying here. Okay. I'm literally dying here. Let's see here. What do we got here? Anyone in the chat? Linderbaum to the Giants? I don't see that.
He's just putting it into the ether.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Tim, if the Giants make a move, will you come back later and recap? I don't know. This is tiring as it is, and I've already been on. I've been on for 2.5 hours.
This guy's giving you black church hours, all right? The chicken's downstairs. We got fruit punch. There's games for the kids outside. Come on.
I was dying with that because I brought that up to the wife.
But that's what it was. I mean, you have no idea. Broadway knows. You know how long black church could be, Broadway.
I know how long black church can be. I just thought it was hilarious that I brought that up to the missus. And she goes, yeah, sometimes you guys are black church hours.
Sorry, Miss Online Big Blue. Sorry.
Because she was like, I want to do stuff. it's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, the weather is changing. Thank God.
Let's see here. The Giant reached a deal. Let's see, 3 years. That's not the highest, making him the highest paid punter.
I don't know why that made me laugh.
Yeah, because here's the thing.
I don't know why that's funny.
If you have this, again, it's too, I can't, never mind. I'm not going to say it because if you have this stellar quarterback and everything's great, why do you need the best punter in the league and making him the highest paid punter in the league? You plan on punting a lot?
Oh, I mean, gonna have a lot of fourth downs.
You expect a lot of 3 and outs? I mean, but no, listen, having to deal with the Scottish Hummer for 3 years now. I think that, I think
we haven't had good kicking here. We haven't had a lot of good anything here in a while. It's amazing how you could run down the list of things we just haven't had here. Just regular things.
Was our best punter. Let's see here. Come on, Giants, get this news out because I'm running late already. I love people. Are you gonna come back on? No, I'm not coming back on. I might come.
Tim, you are the stop it. You are the co-leader. We need direction.
I do love it though, because a lot of people say that I carry them through lunch.
That's right. That's what I'm telling you.
You appreciate. Only Big Blue, you are awesome. You are a down-to-earth guy. Yeah, I am. Which part? The awesome part? Yeah, I already knew that. Thank you. What are you doing on Thursday, man?
I'll text you later. I got to go talk to my boss today.
All right. I need to know.
I'll tell you today.
That's because, I said yes to something. After all the bitching you did about me saying no to something, I say yes. And then you're like, well, we'll let you know.
Hey, listen, man. Some of us have to. We're not all retired.
Yeah,
some of us have to.
I'm working here.
I know you are. You are working here.
I'm working here.
You are working here. Damn, the Dolphins got rid of their punter because they won't need him with Malik.
They're never gonna punt again.
Send him to the Falcons.
We're gonna be Dallas Upremian. We're just gonna roll it. We're just gonna roll.
Oh, lights on Friday.
Right, Friday night lights. There we go. Oh, come on, Giants, man. You got 2 more minutes before I said it was gonna drop in 10. You got 2 more minutes, and I gotta go.
I was gonna say, don't you have to go pick up somebody?
Yes.
Scott. You
can't every once in a while, and then you're a bad parent.
He's gonna get a call. Excuse me. There's somebody here waiting for you.
You forget your kid every once in a while, and all of a sudden you're a bad
parent. It's a nice day. Let him walk. I'll meet him on the way.
If he was at the old school, he could have walked. He can't walk from this school.
I bet he can't.
This school is
be a 5-hour trek.
He was literally not even like, he was like 3/4 of a mile from the house, the old school.
Oh, that's nice.
It was like 2-3 miles. So I'm still stunned. There's 418 people still watching.
Hit that like button, and any content creators out there, give my man his props.
Yeah,
he called Malik Willis. Called it years ago.
Called my shot. I was Babe. Fuck, like he said, John Harbaugh. I'm awesome and down to earth. I called my motherfucking shot, like Babe Ruth, in the 1922 World Series. And I don't even know if it's the 1920. I like the giant blanket. Where's the shark picture going?
It's gonna see. You see, she has mad art in here. I need my own art. That's why I need that pool shark, Maximus and online. I need that because there's so much art. She's a very artsy person. She's into that. We're gonna go to an art gallery. Been to a Basquiat thing in Manhattan. All this. That's her thing. Sports is my thing. Art is her thing. So we have to. When you have a significant other, you have to, do what they like to do. So pool shark though, with the bogey on the table, I need that. Son of a biscuit, I need that. Ooh, Alec Pierce.
Yeah, he signed a while ago. He signed.
I just seen that for first. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on.
That's why we got rid of Pittman. All right, well, let's see.
God damn it, I got to go.
And you know what's going to happen? You're going to text me like 3 minutes.
Oh, I am going to text you right when you get in the car.
I don't know how to do that. I literally don't know how to do that, or I would. I love this one guy, Tony. It says a lot in the recent state of the Giants when we are excited about signing a punter.
Well, no, we signed the tight end first.
Yes, but I do think that's funny. Now resign. Let's see here. All right, I gotta go. I can't. I gotta go. Giants. What are you doing? Sending shit to the deal, the thing, and now I gotta wait for the thing.
Hey, listen, the punter is a good sign. That guy could kick. We haven't had good kicking here. No disrespect to Young Ho Kim, but we haven't had good kicking here. So
we didn't have good Korean barbecue for a while too. Sorry.
Deliveries are always late.
Deliveries were always
not good. It's not good.
Let's go, Isaiah Likely. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with the Likely. Would Young still be here? He might be if Joe Shane was still in charge. I
was going to say we would have re-upped it. You don't have to work Christmas. Are you crazy?
Yeah, okay, you're fine. You're good. Let's see here. All right. Well, you know what, guys? I'm going to refresh 2 more times.
He's like, let me just.
You know it's gonna happen. You literally know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna walk out to the fucking car, and James is gonna text me. We just signed Tyler Linderbaum. Kids need to get tougher. He could. It's only 2.5, 3 miles. He can walk. Kids need to be tougher these days. I used to walk home both ways uphill, and I haven't eaten lunch yet, and the wife hasn't eaten lunch yet either, so she's not gonna be happy.
Oh, no. Well, you need to go handle that because let me tell you something. One thing about mine.
I got to go get the kid first before I can handle it.
She's like, one thing at a time.
one thing at a time. All right, guys. Well, I might jump back on at 4:00.
Ooh.
Because that'll give me time to have coffee and decompress.
I am your father. I must pick you up. Now,
I have to go get him. Isaiah Likely was just on with Kay Adams.
Ooh, she's interviewing some real players now.
What does that do for the Jermaine Illuminor signing?
Oh, did you hear anything about him?
No. What does it do for that? I mean, seriously, what does it do for that? Ew, this guy has a cavity, and dude, that's gross. Why the fuck did they show me that? Why did they show me that? This guy had a terrible cavity. Oh my God, I'm waiting to see. Okay. All right. Well, you have to go to work, and I got to go get the kid because I got to leave now.
Actually, we both have to go. That's the funny thing. We're both
on vacation right now, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Wando Robinson's on vacation with his girlfriend. And all right, making the Giants are okay. The Giants are making an offer. Oh, okay.
To who? To who?
I don't know, but I'm reading this. I'm reading another because I moved my text messages to the screen, and they said an offer is made, and he said sorry, maybe another 10.
I'm telling you, that guy's under Joe Shane's cup. Like, oh, this guy's procrastinating. Hang on, guys. Hang on. 10 more minutes.
I can't. Like I said, he is calling. He is doing this at great peril. And let's see here. If Tim doesn't come back at 4, we have to get our latest new. Oh fuck! Then I got to come back.
No, listen. Let me tell you something. That guy. No, man. That guy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, someone sent me a screenshot. So now he's not standing like this anymore. Now he's like standing like this. So they only show like
that.
All right, everyone. I want to thank James. I want to thank Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports for came in had a good hour segment.
Breaking news.
What?
We are going to sign somebody eventually.
Oh, that was fucked up. That was fucked up. I don't like.
I had him for a second, y'all. I see this. I had him.
We're not friends anymore.
Stop that. We're family. You're right. We're not friends. We're family. That's right.
All right. Yeah, you're right. All right, we're good with that. All right, everyone. Like, subscribe.
He's got to go.
I gotta go. I'm really late. Dawn Tampering knows. We're out of here. I'll see you at 4. Peace. Goodbye. Whatever.